hope you heard it and it played well. Can you please signal if that was the case? Did you hear it from your side? Okay, great. Fantastic. Manager, please put your slide on slideshow, please. Okay. Thank you. So once again, thanks for joining us. You are the reason why we are here. And if you are joining us at Ivy League for the first time, then I would like to welcome you. And if you are an existing student and looking to continue your ACCA journey, welcome back again to Ivy League. Remember that the ACCA journey has three sides to it: the exams, the ethics module, and the experience. So it's a life learning journey. And so when you finish the exams, you still need to keep learning. All right. My work is basically to welcome you and introduce you to Ivy League. On the next slide, we have what we are going to go through today. So first we'll talk about Ivy League, and we will dive into some of the services that we provide. First, we talk about the diploma in IFRS, and then we talk about the degree programs that are available through the ACCA qualification. As you know, we currently have the Oxford Brookes University degree program, which is ending this year, actually, and then transitioning as well into the degree program with the University of London. So we're going to take you through some high-level details around that. And then next we talk about the ACCA qualification and some upcoming changes to the qualification, which I believe you have also heard from the video there. We will have representative of ACCA to also speak to some of these changes. They are not things you should worry about for this year, but they are things you should anticipate, particularly if you're still at the knowledge or skills level, if you're about to start. We'll take a pause and then ask if you have any questions on what we have presented so far. And then we'll move on to our panel session where we will host a couple of professionals who will be answering some burning questions about the role of accountants today. And then we'll talk you through how we support our ACCA students, what you should look forward to as you attend your lectures for the next couple of weeks or months, depending on the program you're joining. And then we'll close out again with another question and answer session. All right, so that's what we have for today. Next slide, please. So Ivy League Associates, this is our 14th year. 14 years of, having lectures from March to June till September, and for December exams. 14 years of, tutors investing their time to support our students. 14 years of serving students to achieve their dreams and ambition, their professional career goals. 14 years of keeping the quality high, and we hope that we can continue to serve you better. Now, students are the center of what we do. You are our ultimate customers. But then also you recognize that for this to work well, you also need to have high quality tutors. So our tutors and staff are also very critical stakeholders as part of this process. We listen to you. We change what needs to be changed. We improve on what needs to be improved on. and we stop what needs to be stopped. And over these 14 years, we have evolved from being a registered learning provider to gold, to platinum, to face-to-face learning. Now we do strictly online lectures, to having setbacks with the online classes, and now to the level of perfection, and to situations where all our classes are live classes, to what we have now where we combine live classes with pre-recorded lectures. So a lot of things have changed over this period. We serve students who are sponsoring themselves, and we serve students that are also sponsored by their employers, particularly the big four firms. Our tutors combine many years of experience lecturing. In fact, if I'm going to add up the years of experience of teaching of each individual tutor and get an absolute number, I'm going to be talking about more than 250 years of lecturing. So you're dealing with a team that is highly experienced in providing tuition for ACCA. No doubt you are at the right place. Okay. So we hope that you will enjoy this open day. And if you have any question, please feel free to take note of it. And when it's time for our question and answer session, we'll take some of those questions. And also note that you can type in the chat area. We are monitoring that as well. So if there's any question that comes up there, we can also take that. At this point, I would hand over to Said. Said is one of our financial reporting and strategic business reporting tutor. And he also leads our diploma in IFRS lectures. And he will be talking to you about what the certification entails and what you need to do to succeed if you are interested in that. Said.
Good morning, Sheyi. Good morning, everyone. My name is Said Akombi. I'm one of the tutors for Diploma in IFRS and also SBR for ACCA qualifications. Once again, you're welcome to Ivy League. We appreciate everything you do. Okay, for ACCA Diploma in IFRS is a certification for finance professional who require detailed and working knowledge of international financial reporting standard. So this program incorporates IFRS standards and also standards relating to sustainability as issued by IASSB. So for this program, what you will gain for this program is deep knowledge and understanding of the main principles of IFRS reporting skills, including consolidation of financial statements, practical application of IFRS, practical experience with IFRS financial statements, and also this course combines lectures, discussion, and examples. So here in Ivy League, we ensure 100% coverage of the syllabus. We put you through what the principle is all about. We solve past questions. We give assignment to our students, and we ensure 100% completion of the assignment. So for this program, you're expected to register with ACCA, and after the registration for the program, we ensure that we prepare you for the exam, and we also ensure that everything you need to pass this exam, we provide it for you. And this program is for professional accountants who have ICANN qualification, auditors and tax consultants in professional practice, and finance leader who require to brush up their knowledge in IFRS standards. So this exam is a one-off exam. And what do I mean by one-off exam? It's just a single stage exam. And this exam is for 3 hours, which you also expected to do on a computer-based platform. For this qualification, the pass mark is 50%. And when you attain this pass mark, this diploma in IFRS qualification will be given to you. The initial registration fee is £36, and you're expected to submit all relevant documents, including your relevant work experience as may be required. So the exam fee is £135, and this exam, just like what I said earlier, is a one-off exam. So here in Ivy League, we are going to ensure your success. Historically, we've also ensured that all our past students, at least, we achieve nothing less than 80% pass rate. So at this junction, I don't know if you have any question or clarification. Hello. So I can hand over to Mr. Lumide. Mr. Lumide. Hello, Mr. Lumide.
Thank you, Mr. Saeed. Thank you very much. Once again, welcome to Ivy League March, June 2026 Open Day. My name is Olumide once again. We'll be taking us through through the ACCA. As was mentioned earlier, there are two ways now that we can actually acquire a BSc. Maybe you studied courses that are not related to accounting and you still want to have a BSc in accounting, or perhaps you attended Polytechnic, you want to have a BSc in accounting, or you just started ACCA, immediately you left university, and you also want to have that BSc. And it could be that you want an international BSc attached to your CV. So we have the Oxford Brookes University BSc, which is winding up this May 2026 is when this program is winding up. Oxford Brookes University is a highly respected business education and international academy, which is in UK. Every ACCA student is qualified to apply for this Oxford Brookes. Every ACCA student, irrespective of age, gender, or where the state at which you join ACCA, you are qualified. What you just need to do is to opt in for Oxford Brookes on your ACCA student portal. So that's why you have on the screen automatic qualification. Yeah, so what are you going to write any exams to get this BSc directly with Oxford Brookes? No. ACCA, Oxford Brookes, ACCA will submit your transcript to Oxford Brookes, and your score will be graded with whatever you score in the project that you're going to write. So you're going to write a RAP, a project to which we submit, just like you write in a regular university in Nigeria. So the score of that project added to the score, your aggregate score of from knowledge to skill is what determines if you are getting a first class or you're getting a 2-1 or 2-2. So what do? We are still going to have an open day for this Oxford Brookes specifically, which will happen on the 7th of February. I hope and I wish every one of you will join, because take advantage of this last batch of submission. So a question may arise: if this is the last time this program is going to head, and I'm going to I submit and I didn't make the cut, does that mean, is that the end for me? No. If you submit in May and the result comes out, I think in August or thereabout, and you did not meet the cut, you still have the opportunity to submit again. But officially, that program ends in June. How do we help? How do Ivy League assist our students? We give guidance. We help you plan. One thing we need to make you understand is Ivy League mentors will not assist you in writing your RAP, your project. and we will not at any point in time source materials for you. You are supposed to source your material in writing your project, do your project independently. The mentor are there to guide, to mentor you. This is what is expected. This is how it should go. They are there to proofread whatever you write or you've written chapter by chapter. And we also help in the help you with administrative assistance. You want to submit guidance on how to submit, how to make payments, and what have you. So that is that about OBU. If you have any question, please let's put our question together. We'll not be able to take question now. When we get to the Q&A session, we will be taking your questions. Yeah, so the second route to get a BSc through ACCA is through the University of London. University of London is is a university that has spent over 18 decades, 18 decades of academic excellence. Through, and the good thing about University of London is it's a flexible university which have affiliation with other international colleges and institutions like Ivy League, and then some colleges all over the world. And then over the years, they've been turning out certifications that are credible, with high integrity. So University of London is I would say, is a big grade, I'll call it, university in the world. So it's a highly respected university globally. Just like the OBU, if you want to enroll for BSc at University of London, one, you must be an ACCA registered and active student. Yeah, you must be an ACCA registered and active student. That qualifies you to, but being an ACCA registered and active student does not mean that automatically you are qualified to start the program. It does not mean that you are qualified to start the program. You must have attained some certain level of credit with ACCA or before you can qualify. So what do I mean? You must have written all the ACCA knowledge and skill level papers, excluding performance management and financial management. And if you have written PM and FM with ACCA, you are still qualified. What it means is that you will still need to write the performance management and financial management exam with University of London. So in the course of one of the meetings we had with them, we raised the question to say, why do students still need to write, exams? And this is because of the fact that it sounds like you were describing the entry requirements for the University of London. So this is required by UK, the education governing body. For you to have a BSc, you must have at least 120 credits. And the project you are going to write with the University of London is just 60 credits. So performance management will be 30 credits, financial management will be 30 credits. So if you've written it before, you are still qualified, just that you know that you will be writing performance management and financial management with University of London before you now write your project. So what is study duration? How long will it take me if I start today, for example, to say I will, when will I finish? So it's between 1 to 3 years. You are expected to finish within 1 to 3 years. You can finish it within 1 year, write your two performance and financial management papers, then submit your projects. You can finish within 1 to 3 years. What is the mode of study? Yeah, so the mode of study for this particular program is online, and it's also available in class. And I will explain. Once you register with University of London, they create a portal for you where all the necessary resources you need are available. Teaching resources and learning resources are available. However, London University signed agreement with private tuition centers, colleges, and other institutions to give to teach these particular papers. So Ivy League, for example, you enroll with Ivy League we handle all registration process, and then we also teach you. We have our tutors that will teach you the papers and also give you guidance on how to write the project and submit the project. How is this assessed? Like I said earlier, you write an exam, computer-based exam. For now, in our terrain now, there is no facility for physical examination for now. So computer-based exams for the two papers, and once you've written those exams, you submit your project. So the score you add in those exams with your project and your ACCA transcript will play a vital role in what you will be getting as a grade by the time you are done with this program. So how do we help? How do we help? What is the role that Ivy League will be playing in all this? Like we did with the LBU, we will be guiding you. We help you to plan. We are also going to be teaching. We are also going to mentor and guide you on projects, writing and submission. And we will also assist you with all the administrative bottlenecks of doing this. We will take that up as our own given. So that is that with getting a BSc from Oxford Brookes or University of London through ACCA. Now, we want to talk about the ACCA qualification. Please, I just want a reaction to be sure that you can still hear me. I want a reaction. Can somebody just unmute and confirm? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we're talking about issue. So ACCA qualification is actually, I won't say is a three-stager because there are other responsibility or requirements to achieve the ACCA qualification. But who can actually enroll and start ACCA? Anybody that can read and write. It's not mandatory that you have a BSc before you start, or you even have an O level before you start. You can start without O level, without BSc. Just that where you start, ACCA is actually a function of the qualification that you have. So for those who does not have O level, they will write the qualification exams. Those are the MA1, the MA2, introduction to taxation, introduction to audit and assurance, foundation, audit and assurance, and things like that. At the completion of that, then you now move to the proper qualification stage. So we don't call that level the qualification, ICC qualification stage. So you move to the next level, which is called the knowledge level or applied knowledge, from the foundations to applied knowledge. So at this applied knowledge, those who do not have accounting background, accounting qualification, or banking qualification, or finance qualification. So for example, I studied microbiology in the university. I will be starting from knowledge level. I'm just a school start holder. All I have is my SSC or GSC. You will be starting at the knowledge level, where you are required to write 3 papers: business and technology, financial accounting, money and management accounting. This level is actually a level to prepare you to understand the nitty-gritty of the accounting and the finance world. At the end of this level, that's one good thing I love about ACCA. At the end of this start point level, which we call applied knowledge, there is a certificate that you will get at the end of this. It is called diploma in accounting and business. Diploma in accounting and business. This can be part of your CV even while you are still, running your ACCA program. So what do you need to do once you've written these exams and you've passed? The pass mark for all ACCA papers is 50 marks. So once you've written this exam and you've passed this exam, the next thing you do is to do the they call it ethics module, right, for the knowledge level. So once you do that, you complete that. I think it used to be free. You do that, then at the completion of that, you get that certificate in your portal. Once you are done with that level, you move to the next level, which is the applied skill level, where you are required to write 6 papers. Those who studied accounting, those who studied business, who studied banking, finance, and those with masters of business administration, MBA, they are the ones that automatically start from this level. They will skip the knowledge level, and then they'll get those knowledge level papers as exemption papers. They will be exempted from writing those papers. You are an accounting graduate, you are a banking or finance graduate, or you have MBA. So if you are an accounting graduate, you are only going to require to write 5 of the 6 papers here. Every other graduate will write the 6 papers: taxation, performance management, audit and assurance, corporate business law, financial reporting, and financial management. For accounting graduates, you are now writing corporate and business law. Also, at the completion of this applied skill, there is also a certificate available for you that you are not paying extra for, but you need to do the ethics and professional module. You must have done the ethics and professional module to get to that point. At the completion of these papers, you will get a certificate. Then you move to the next level, which is professional, but you are required to have done the ethics and professional module before you do this. At this professional final level, so let me also say, at the applied skill level, the knowledge level introduces you to the nitty-gritty of accounting. The applied skill level is where you learn the core of all these accounting and finance modules. You learn the core of it. Then once you are done, you get to strategic professional. And as the name implies, strategic professional, responding to exams at the skill level is quite different from that of professional. And I can give you, for example, advanced financial management versus financial management. When you're writing financial management, you are required to do a lot of calculation. But by the time you get to the professional level, you realize that calculation is about 49% or thereabout. You are expected to not just solve problem, you are expected to now think as a board person, as a director, as a strategic leader in a business organization. So at this point, you are expected to write 4 papers out of 6. Strategic business leader is mandatory. Strategic business reporting is also mandatory. Then from the remaining 4 papers, you are expected to write 2 of the remaining 4: advanced performance management, advanced financial management, advanced audit and assurance, advanced taxation. We're expected to write 2 of those papers. And once you are done writing the 2 papers, or the 4 papers at the professional level, then we can now clap to say you are an affiliate. You are an affiliate. Now, the next thing we want to talk about now is, sorry, I would like to emphasize a bit on ethics and professional module. Ethics and professional module is just a one-off examination, and it's a mandatory online course that covers the ethics, decision making, communication, leadership, data analytics, and commercial awareness. You understand? So this will prepare you to to be able to relate what the knowledge you have acquired into the real practical words. And it also help you to know, the ethics of this profession. You understand? You have learned everything, but you still need to know the ethics of this profession that will help you, when you're actually working. So this, why do you need to take this as well? It will help you. It will help you to demonstrate and apply ethical and professional behavior in real world. It will offer you full spectrum of professional and digital skill needed to succeed in the business of today. This takes about 15 to 20 hours to finish. And this does not mean you are going to spend 15 hours at a stretch. You can break it into weeks, months, as is convenient for you. But at the end of watching the videos, learning online, you are expected to write an examination. You are expected to write an examination. This examination, even if you fail it, you can still write it again. You are not paying twice. You only pay once, and you will write the exam until you pass it. And the learnings you will take from this ethics and professional modules will help you greatly in passing your strategic professional papers easily. It will help you to pass your strategic professional papers easily. Now, I want to talk about the practical experience requirement. This practical experience requirement is also a very, very important part of your qualification, because without fulfilling these practical experience requirements, you will remain an affiliate. You will not become a full-fledged member that will be inducted into the ACCA world. So what does this mean? ACCA wants you to prove that, okay, you have actually practiced in the accounting world, finance world. You may even be a business owner that you're not working with anybody, right? But you just want to have a proof of 3 years, that's 72 months work, 36-month work experience, right? So I have some students who became members like a month after they qualified. Why? Because they've been working in the accounting world for more than 3 years before their qualification. So what do you need to do? Start gaining the relevant experience that you need. You need a supervisor. Who is a supervisor? Somebody who can actually attest to the fact that the experience you've claimed that you've gotten, you have actually gotten those experience, right? And that your supervisor must be somebody who is IFAC qualified. What do I mean by IFAC qualified? It could be somebody that's already ACCA chartered, or it is maybe ICANN chartered, or any other qualification that are recognized by IFAC. That is the only person that can sign off your PR that you have actually acquired the experience you claim to have had. Then the performance objective that you need to meet, and then once you meet all these performance objective, you start recording your experience. And by the time you are done, you've recorded your experience, the supervisor will sign off on this, and once the supervisor sign off on this, then you send this to ACCA. In a couple of weeks or thereabouts, ACCA will revert to you, and you become a full-fledged ACCA member. So at this point, I would like to hand over to Mr. Etisong to speak on behalf of ACCA. What are there changes we need to know, the student needs to know about? What are the program planned for the year that will help students achieve their goals and more? So, Mr. Etisong, please confirm you are around and you can hear me, sir. Mr. Etisong, please confirm.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Yes, I can hear you. Good morning, sir.
All right, good morning. I said let me show my face before I do my presentation so you know that you're talking to a human being. I'll need to turn off my video for some time just to manage the bandwidth. So good morning, everyone, and a happy new year to everyone. I hope we're all doing well in this year. I know that people have made their resolutions for the year. I hope that your resolutions also involve you completing your ACCA qualification. So I just want to confirm, can you see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Okay,
we can
so
see your
let me,
Yes.
screen.
okay, so let me just put it. Okay. All right. So welcome to this session. Ivy League is our approved learning provider, and Ivy League is in partnership with ACCA, and so we work hand in hand to ensure that students get all the support that they need to become chartered accountants. If you notice something that ACCA says, we say our students are future members. Why do we say that? Because the ACCA qualification and the community is a member community, right? Which means that even as you become a student, the goal is to become a member, right? We do not expect that you remain a student throughout your journey, right? But that you make it to membership. Okay, and I like the video that was showed earlier on because it really explains some of the changes that are coming. Please give me a second, please. All right, thank you. I just had to move my daughter away. Working from home also comes with its own challenges. Apologies. Right, so a lot of changes are coming, and precisely it would kick off from 2027. But if you are following ACCA for some time, you would know that changes with ACCA is not a new thing, right? For example, on a yearly basis, there are additions that come with the qualification, right? Also, for example, in 2019, ACCA, 2019 to 2020, ACCA moved from a paper-based qualification to fully computer-based. So we are a qualification that constantly thinks ahead. And then more recently, we have carried out well, I say one of the most in-depth changes we have done in a long time. And we did this after consulting with approved learning providers like Ivy League. We engaged with future members, with members, regulatory bodies, universities to say what are some of the courses, what are some of the topics, what are some of the changes that you would like to see in the qualification that positions it as a future thinking qualification. And a lot of the feedback that we got is what has been put into the new qualification redesign, right? So you're going to see whole scale inclusions of sustainability, ethics, digital. You're going to see all that embedded into the ACCA qualification from the beginning to the end. You're also going to see a lot of artificial intelligence embedded into the qualification. You're going to see things like an AI assistant who you can ask questions, who can support your journey. And then what is the essence? The essence is to make sure that the qualification is more employability minded, right? Because the reason why most people do a professional qualification is to either get a better job or to get a job. And so we have positioned the qualification, right, so that you can get there are more qualifications, more academic qualifications, awards and designations, that you're also going to see. We have also introduced employability models throughout the qualification, just to position you to get the dream job that you want, and also to be acknowledged and recognized within your job space. So, what is this qualification redesign looking like, right? And this is a table to basically show you what it's going to look like, right? At the foundation level, you're now going to have just 3 papers. So foundation levels are people who do not meet minimum requirements and have the ambition of doing ACCA. So they will just do 3 papers. At the knowledge level, from July 2027, you're going to have 3 papers. Expertise level, which is going to take the place of what you call the skills level, you have 5 exams. And then the final stage, which is the strategic professional level, retains its name. There will be 2 mandatory papers and 1 optional papers. The new addition is what we call now the essential employability models, right? These are the models that are going to give you some of the cutting edge and some of the skills that employers have said that they need their staff to have. So at the foundation level, you are now going to be doing an enterprise and entrepreneurship model. At the knowledge level, you're going to do a responsible business management model, which in essence is going to take some of the aspects of what you currently know as business and technology in that model. And then at the expertise level, you're going to have a digital tech and innovation model. And then at the strategic professional level, you're going to have the ethical sustainability and leadership model. And then now there are going to be new awards and designations. So when you finish the foundation level, you are eligible for a diploma. And then when you finish the knowledge level, you're going to be eligible for a higher diploma level. And then for those who are interested in getting the designation of certified accountant technician, on completion of the foundation level and the knowledge level and demonstrated 1 year of work experience, you can get the designation of certified accountant technician. And then at the end of the expertise level, you get the advanced diploma and then the brand new BSc with the University of London, which Mr. Olumide stated earlier on. And then at the final stage, you can be ACCA chartered, and then you can also get an MSc from the University of London. The 36 months of relevant work experience still stands, which means you need to meet your PR, right? And then we've also introduced optional employability models, which go some way in giving you the experience aspect of the PR requirement. And then if I take it a little further so that you can see some of the actual courses that you are going to do at the foundation level, these are the 3 papers that are going to be available. So at the foundation level, you're not going to have introductory, intermediate, and then the last 3 papers. At the foundation level, it's just going to be 3 courses, right? And then the knowledge level still retains the papers that you know, financial accounting, management accounting, but business law is going to be moved out from the applied skills level to knowledge level. And then what you used to know as BT forms part of the essential employability models, which you're going to do at responsible business management model. And then at the expertise level, we've introduced what we call finance and investment, right? And then you're going to see performance with data analysis. So you still retain taxation, financial reporting, and then audit has now been expanded to audit, risk, and control, right? So you are going to be seeing introduction of courses that can support if you have the ambition of, say, you want to be an investment banker, and we all know the importance of investment in our world today. So you're going to be learning skills at the expertise level, that can support that ambition. And then at the professional level, you still have your mandatory two essential papers, business and sustainability reporting, which you would know as SBR, and then you have strategic business leader. But now there's a new spin where you can actually specialize, right? So, for example, the importance of data analysis and data science can be overemphasized. So you might want to focus on data science. You want to be a data science professional, and so you can just choose that paper alone, right? Or you might say you want to go into tax advisory, and then you pick taxation advisory professional, right? So you can actually specialize in an aspect of finance by taking any of these optional papers, right? And then, like I mentioned earlier, there are optional employability models which can help you in getting new skills. So cloud accounting, you might want to focus on cloud accounting, fintech, um, skills, IT skills like Python, artificial intelligence in accounting. These skills that you would normally have needed to get while working, you can acquire them with one of these models. And what does this do for you? In essence, you can take select courses. So, for example, if you do cloud accounting certificate in fintech, these work towards 1 year relevant work experience in meeting your PR. And then how does this compare, right? Putting this side by side with what the current structure is. If you look to um, your left, you can see what the current structure is, right? At the applied knowledge level, what the current um, papers are, and then under the redesigned qualification, which will kick off from next year, this is what it's going to look like, right? Under the current structure, there's no essential employability modules. We now have new awards and designations available. We also have the optional employability models. And then, of course, at the foundation level, as it currently at the applied knowledge level as it is, and the applied knowledge level under the redesign, it will primarily be the same, right? The only difference is that you would see BT in the employability module, and then law, which was in applied skills, comes to the knowledge level, right? So you have those three papers at the knowledge level under the redesigned, and then the applied skills will now be the expertise level with 5 papers. You still have your taxation, you have your financial reporting. Audit will now be expanded to audit, risk, and control. And then FM now will be finance and investment. Performance management becomes performance with data analysis, right? And then at the strategic professional level, you are now able to specialize. The two essential papers of SBR and SBL remain the same, but at the optional level, you are now able to pick a path that you think you are best suited for, and then specialize in that area. And then, of course, the benefits for our future members, I mean, they speak for itself, right? The qualification is more focused at employability, giving you that dream job, getting you, recognized within your organization, right? You're more relevant and respected both locally and internationally. And then we have now tailor-made the learning pathways, as you go. So you can choose what you want to um, pick up as you progress on your journey, and then what you feel is not necessary for you. And of course, what does this do in essence for you? It opens doors for you across every sector and whatever geography, right? And as an accountant of today and tomorrow, you're not restricted to certain sectors. It means that you can be in private, you can be in public, you can also run your own organization if you deem fit. And the final thing I would say on that is nobody is disadvantaged in any way. So wherever you are currently, if the new qualification meets you at 2027, you are transferred to the exact same level under the new qualification. So, for example, if you have finished your knowledge level under the current qualification, under the new qualification, automatically you get those as credits, and then you are transferred to the skills level. We have a transition tool that is available on the ACCA website, and it's very easy to use. You just need to state where you are currently on the qualification, right? And then it shows you the exact equivalent of where you are going to be under the new qualification. So nobody is going to be disadvantaged, right? I know that certain students have expressed some concern to say, I hope this does not throw me backward under the new qualification, or, or am I going to start doing papers again that I've done before? So no, you are not going to be disadvantaged in any way. And so in terms of support, right, for you this financial year, ACCA has a plethora of things and resources that are essential for you to take that next step. And one of the first things I want to say to every student is I believe that everybody on this call is either looking to write your exam in March or write your exam in June, right? And one of the first things I always tell every student is that you cannot pass your ACCA exams if you do not make your My ACCA platform your best friend. It is not possible, because that is where we have provided the support in addition to what Ivy League is going to provide for you. You need to have your My ACCA on your speed dial. And the essentials for every ACCA student is that the first thing is that you need to plan. Okay? There is a syllabus, there is already a calendar by Ivy League in terms of when classes are going to start and end, and then when you go into revision. But you as a student must have your own study time, right? And then there are three things that are essential for a successful ACCA journey. The first thing is that you need to plan. In your planning, there's an amazing tool called the ACCA Compass Planner, because with that, you are able to fix for yourself. For example, today I'm going to do 2 hours, right? On Monday, I'm going to do 3 hours. In essence, you are able to articulate the hours of study that are required for you to be ready for your exam, right? And closely followed with that is at this time, you should be able to say, oh, I'm writing my exam by March. And I'm talking about those at the skills level and professional level. Those at the foundation or knowledge level, your exams are available anytime. Just speak to Ivy League, right? So if you're at the skills or professional level, you should be able to now tell yourself, I'm planning to write my exam in March, or I'm writing in June. What that means is that you need to now start paying and booking for your exam now, right? It is not at the final day for when the exam deadline is up. That's when you now start running around trying to reaching out to Ivy League or calling ACCA, right? That you want to book your exam. This is the time, and there is a psychological aspect of it. Of part of planning is booking your exam because you have already committed yourself, and then mentally you can begin to position yourself to study. The second aspect I mentioned is study. What can you use to study? ACCA has provided the study hub, which is like your online version of your texts, right? So no need for you to start running around, oh, I'm getting BPP, I'm getting Kaplan texts, right? The essential content of every single course that you are looking for is in the study hub, right? All you need to do is, and I always advise students, log on to your My ACCA with a laptop. it is not always advisable to use your mobile device, except probably when you're in transition, you're moving from one place to another, right? It's too cumbersome. You just bring out your mobile phone and then you're on your study hub offline, right? Use your study hub. That is you having the resources to study, going chapter by chapter, right? The next thing is you need to practice. There is no way you can go into the ACCA exam with the confidence that you require if you do not practice. And the ACCA practice platform gives you, it simulates that exam environment for you to begin to familiarize yourself with what the exam looks like, what the marking structure is like, essential instructions. How do you familiarize yourself with the word processor? How do you familiarize yourself with the spreadsheets, right? What this ensures is that when you go into your exam, you go in with confidence. So when you first thing is you plan your study with the compass planner, pay and book for your exam. The next thing, start to study with the ACCA study hub. And then the next step is begin to practice with the practice platform. There is another essential resource called the study support resources. You will see all these when you log into my ACCA and you go to my qualification. You will see all these options. The ACCA study support resources is another essential resource because with there you can see things like the examiner's reports. The examiner's reports are written by the people who set the ACCA exams and mark, and they show you very clearly what an ideal response is that gets maximum marks and what a poor response is, so that you as a student can take ACCA exams, right? So this is just a snapshot of what some of the resources at the study support resources options are, right? You will see the syllabus, you see examiners reports, you will see guidance for each exam and all other resources that are important for you to pass your ACCA exams. And then the final thing I would say is that in preparation for March exams, in partnership with Ivy League and our other learning providers, we have short sessions where we break down how you use these resources for those who may not know how to. For example, how do you use the study hub? How do you use the practice platform, right? The next session we are going to have is the bounce back session, which would break down how you use the My Exam Performance tool for those at skills level and the examiner's reports, which are available for all the courses on ACCA. This would be essential for those who are not successful in their March exam, giving you the tips that you need to bounce back. So I will end with key dates that you need to take note of and that you need to be aware of. The December exam results will come out by Friday for all those, Friday 16th for all those who wrote the exams. The standard deadline for those who are writing March exam is 26 January, which means this is the final date for you to book your exams if you are writing March. If you do not book on this day, there's a late entry for February 12th, but this is almost double the cost, right? If you're writing the exam. March exam comes out Saturday 11th April, and then for June exams, all those writing June exams, the standard deadline is 16th April. It is not 26th April, it is not 27th April, it is 16th April because ACCA is moving to a new platform for students. And then the dates for exam payment and booking has been moved earlier to accommodate the change, which will kick off at the end of April. So please note these dates. There is no late entry for June. So everything around booking your exam ends on April 16th. If you need any support, if you need any help, reach out to Ivy League. I would also provide my details in the chat box in case you need any further support. So thank you. I will be available if there are questions around the qualification redesign, the upcoming qualification redesign, or you have any other questions around ACCA. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Edsong. Thank you very much for that insightful presentation. Yeah. So at this point, we'll be moving to the next. What we have next, which is actually
Q&A.
We can't hear you.
okay. Please
Salubide, we can't hear you.
Oh, apologies. Confirm that you can hear me now.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we can
can.
hear you now.
So at this point, we move into our next item for this meeting. I want to confirm. Tommy, are you on the call?
Sorry, manager, question and answers. Why don't we take that next?
All right. Thank you very much, sir. So do we have any questions? We've had some discussion so far. If you have any question, please just raise up your hand so that we can call you and take your questions. Please, let's raise our hands for questions if you have any question.
Salubide, there are quite some hands raised up.
Okay, so manager, you may not be able to see it from your side. I will support you if that's okay. Yeah?
Thank you very much.
Okay. So first off, I just want to thank Etisong. Etisong, thank you very much. That was a fantastic presentation talking us through upcoming changes and the resources that are available to students. I think you have saved me some of the things I wanted to also talk about. So that was very good. Thank you. So we have a couple of hands up. We may not be able to take every question now. Remember, we still have a Q&A session at the end of the open day. So we may take a sample of questions and then just keep those hands raised. And by the time we're done, we will take the other questions. Emmanuel, please keep your questions concise, straight to the point, so that we can cover as many people as we can. Emmanuel, kindly go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. For somebody with ICANN certificate, ACA, what level of ACCA will he write? And will there be exemption fees paid for the stages he's not writing? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Emmanuel. Manager has noted that he will respond. Dilis, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name well.
Yeah, delays, you pronounced it right.
All right.
I've been trying to do AAA several times, and I've not been able to get it because I've done my is in my expertise, that's what it's called, expertise exams ages ago, and I've done SBR and SBL ages ago as well. So just that knowledge gap, how do you help your students with that, so I'm able to
I have it.
I'm able to-
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you, Dilis. Can you
melt now.
there's somebody disturbing us. Please ensure your mic is muted, Bumi Adeni. Okay. Dilis, thanks very much for that question. I've taken note of it. I will answer it myself as the AAA course leader at Ivy League. Yusuf,
Shay,
go
can you hear
ahead.
me? Hello?
Yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah, please, I just wanted to add, can we prioritize the questions for Etisong? So maybe that's something we should just say. Some of these questions, we will take them in our Q&A, but Etisong is waiting. So I think if there's anything specifically to what he has presented, I just want to say to everyone, let's prioritize those who want to ask directly to Etisong so that he can take them, and then we take that in our general Q&A. Any other question aside that?
Okay, agreed. So if your question is for Song and what he has presented, we would like to prioritize that. So maybe the suggestion will be, if it's not for Song, you can lower your hand for now, while we just take the ones that was presented by Song. And just to be clear, Song is the ACCA qualifications manager for the region in Africa, and so is very experienced in qualification matters and education and learning generally within the ACCA qualification. So if you have any questions specifically for Song, keep your hand raised. Otherwise, you can lower your hand. Peter, go ahead. Peace, Peter.
All right, thank you. So my question is concerning the ACCA key dates that he mentioned last. So I just registered for ACCA and I will be starting at the knowledge level. So I want to know if I will also be following the key dates that he has mentioned, because my thought was that for the knowledge level, FA and MA, which I'll be sitting for, that it's flexible. So maybe my understanding of flexible was not is not so good enough. So will I also be sitting for exams in March? Will I have to sit for exams in March as well as So that's what I want to know. I also have another question. I noticed that. Hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Sorry, please just keep it very concise and fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so my second question is about CBL that is usually in the second level. I think you call it expertise now. I noticed that it's not there. So what happens for someone that you have finished MA and FA? What do you do concerning CBL in this transition period?
Okay, thank you. Etisong has noted that. Etisong, I need to pack a couple of questions. Just note it.
Okay,
yeah. NUDC Finance, go ahead.
All right, thank you. My question is, are old members of ACCA entitled to the MSc certification that will be available from next year after the changes are made?
All right, that's noted for Etisong as well. Priscilla, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the section. That's been very insightful. So my question is about this Oxford books and then making payment for this ethics and professional skills module, because I tried making payment via my ACC account for this ethics and professional skills module. I couldn't. So I don't know if someone can help me navigate on how to make payment. And also for this OBU that is ending by May 2026. I know I'm eligible for it, but I don't know if there's a separate registration that has to be done and if there's a deadline to it to facilitate submitting by May 2026.
Brilliant. Thank you, Priscilla. Manager would answer that question. One last one for now. Oluwatimileyin, go ahead. You're on mute if you're speaking. Yeah.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. Please, you talked about my ACCA app where we can, study and practice for the ACCA exam. I want to ask, what are the requirements to access the app or the hub? Is it just to register as a student, or we have to register, we have to pay for the exemptions and then register for exam before we can access the hub?
All right, Oluwatimileyin, thank you very much. Etisong will take that as well. So Etisong, you've got 3 questions. Do you want to go for it?
Okay, let me shoot. So for the first lady who spoke, I need to reemphasize that the new qualification redesign doesn't kick off till next year, right? It doesn't kick off till next year, July. So currently everything remains as it is. Okay. And then for the key dates that I stated, they are for only people who are at the skills and the professional level. They fall within the quarterly diet cycle, which is March, June, September, and December. Anybody else who is at the knowledge or the foundation level, your exams are on demand, which means that they are available at any time. So if you are taking your classes with Ivy League, all you need to do is just call Ivy League whenever you're ready for your exam, and you pay to them, and then you write your exam. Okay. Law on currently as it stands is within the skills level, but it's still an on-demand exam, right? Which means after your BT, FA, MA, you can also do law at any time. Okay. When the qualification changes, law is now part of the knowledge level. And then, like I mentioned, whatever you have done currently, you are simply going to be moved to the next stage when the qualification changes. Then somebody asked around payment for EPSM. So one of the good things that has happened from some point of last year is the restriction that CBN had on international transactions has been removed, right? So you can pay for your EPSM, you can pay for your skills or professional level exams with your card, with your debit card. I know most Nigerian banks allow that. But if you're somebody who is still, oh, you say my bank, my card isn't working, or I'm used to paying through the ACCA Sikron Naira account, you can still pay through that. And then also you can pay for your EPSM through that. So if you have the equivalent of £81 in your My ACCA account, simply send an email to the finance team. And the email is nigeria.payments with an S at accaglobal.com, and simply tell them to deduct the cost of the EPSM and give you a token access. They're going to just send you a code which you can use to access the EPSM model, right? That is very, very straightforward. So that's how we can support those who their cards do not work. And then for the final person who was asking, how do you access Study Hub and all the other resources? All you need to do is register to become an ACCA student, right? So if you have not registered to be an ACCA student, contact Ivy League. They would tell you the requirements you need to provide to register. Once you register, every registered ACCA student has access to my ACCA, right? All you need to do is you provide your username, which is your ACCA ID, create a password, and then you can access the resources. Thank you. I think I've answered most of the questions.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Manager, do you want to take the two questions?
Yes, let me shoot as well. So for the first question regarding ICANN convertee, yeah, so for every ICANN convertee, you have 9 exemptions. You are only going to be writing 4 papers in this present dispensation. You'll be writing 4 papers at the professional level, and you're entitled to 9 exemptions. These exemptions are actually paid for because you ask if it's going to be paid for. Yes, every exemption is paid for. If you have ICANN or any other qualification recognized by ACC at that level, you get 9 exemptions and you will pay for those exemptions. Then regarding the OBU, someone asked a question about OBU, and your question is, how do you pay and how do you register? Yeah, so you must be eligible first and foremost by being an ACCA registered and active student. So from the ACCA, from your ACCA portal, if you go to my qualification, you will see the OBU. You see OBU Oxford Brooks there. Click on it; it will redirect you to the Oxford Brooks portal where you will register your interest. And once you register your interest, payment is done via their online portal with your card. And the good thing about it in Nigeria for now is the fact that you can now do international transactions with your Nigeria card. I think I'll stop at that. Thank you, sir.
Please let me just add something, Shay, to say that for every prospective ACCA student, if you have ICANN or you're coming from any accounting or related qualification, we are running a discount, right? You can contact Ivy League, they will give you more insights. So for example, on a normal day, if you get 9 exemptions from ICANN, you'll be paying over 913,000 for your 9 exemptions. But currently, you would pay only 175,500 for all 9 exemptions. And then the final thing is that the exchange rate ACCA is using for this month is 1,950, right? So if you want to register, if you want to make any payments, you can take advantage of that rate. Thank you.
Let me re-echo what Etisonga said, just in case it slipped or someone did not hear it. If you are coming in at the professional level and you are going to be exempted from 9 papers, instead of paying close to ₦1 million for the exemption fee for those papers, you will be paying 1/10 of that, or about 1/10 of that. So that is huge. And it's not available forever. So obviously something to take advantage of. Speak to managers, speak to our admin team. They will help you do the necessary things to get that massive discount. Okay, final call before we leave the Q&A session. If your question is not for Etisong only, please lower your hand. Only questions for Etisong are the ones that we want to take, and I will just take 3 and we will move on. If it's for Etisong only, that's what we want to take. If you know your question is something related to the other things manager talked about, we will be very happy to take that later on. Chioma, go ahead.
Okay, good morning. My question is concerning the being an affiliate and the leverage it gives you with getting an MSc from the London Business School. I need like some clarification on that and how that works.
Okay, thank you, Chioma. Yeah, Chris Tabel, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I want to ask on the optional professional ethics model, which will be in the new redesign, if it will be free and if it will be paid for. Then secondly, the MSc for the strategic level, would it be also paid for just like the BSc, or would it be free?
All right, thank you, Christabel. Miriam, go ahead.
All right, thank you. My question is concerning this change of platform for ACC April. So I wanted to ask that for students preparing for exam in June that are using the study or urban practice platform, will it affect the accessibility to that platform for a particular time? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miriam. The questions are quite specific. So, Etisong, if you don't mind, let me just add 2 more. David, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, sir. So I just want to ask about the changes that's going to happen next year, 2027, because I see that there are going to be an inclusion of data analysis and AI for accounting and the likes in their courses. What I want to ask is that what are the benefits for those that have qualified before this time, in respect for as against those that are going to be taking the courses next year? Because I see that there are more of benefits when it comes to that side for the certification from next year. But for those that have qualified already, are there exams that we are going to write that can also give us a leverage on that? And then number 2, the inclusion of these topics or these courses rather, is there going to be a price on that? Will there be a change of price as those courses are being changed?
All right, thank you, David. Seth, go ahead.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I didn't know I'd get the opportunity to. My question is very simple. If I'm in my strategic professional level and maybe I've got only one more exam to write, but then it falls under the period, maybe it falls into July 2027, does that sort of change the kind of exams I'd have to write? Or, would I still be able to write the last one? Say, let's say, for example, I only had AFM to write. I'd already done SBL, SBR, and so on and so forth. Would I have to change the kind of exam I have to write based off of the new exams that are available, or would I
Good
be able to still?
question.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
right. Thank you, Seth. Got it. So Etisong, if I could put that question another way. Remember that under the new structure, you're writing 3 papers at the SP level. So his question is, I've already written the 2 essentials. I've written one of the optional. Under the current structure, I have one more left, but under the new structure, I'm not expected to write more than 3. Does that mean I have qualified? So Etisong, are you happy to go ahead?
Yes, I am. And to start start from the last question first, it's a lot of feedback that we have gotten from students where someone says, okay, the new qualification requires just one optional paper, and then currently it's 2 optional papers. Should I just sit put and wait for the new kickoff? And then what we say is really consistent, because there are different um, aspects to this. So one, for example, there's a 7-year rule, right, which will catch up with some people if they are waiting to have only the requirement of one optional paper, right? And that 7-year rule means that you would have to rewrite some papers you have already passed, because you have stayed for 7 years within the professional qualification. Another thing is, are you going to literally stall your progress because you don't want to? You're waiting to just qualify, right? Because you don't want to write one paper. But the simple answer is that if you have written one optional paper and you meet the change, right, you wouldn't need to write an additional paper, because it's just one optional paper that qualifies you. So then moving on to the other questions that people asked, there's not going to be changes of costs, right? The changes are not going to impact students negatively in cost. You're also not going to be disadvantaged of where you are going to be matched under the new um, qualification. And then for those who have already qualified in that period, you can actually go back. For example, you find the data science course interesting and you want to specialize, you can actually go back and take that course. And then if you are someone who has been keenly observing over the last couple of years, some of these aspects that are going to see whole scale changes, ACCA has already been introducing them, right? So, for example, you can see sustainability is already within at different courses within the qualification. We've already started embedding them over the last 3 years within the qualification. So for someone who finishes before that time, you're not going to be disadvantaged. And then you also have the option of doing some of those courses. The employability modules and the optional modules are not going to be charged, right? Those modules are going to be accessible to you free of charge. The person who asked around the MSc, whether it's free, it is not free of charge. It will be I think currently the cost of it equivalent is around 5 million naira. I think that's the equivalent. And then as an affiliate, you only need to do capstone courses. I think you need to do just 3 modules that allow you to be eligible for the MSc. So that is the advantage you get um, as an affiliate. And then the final thing, during the change in platform for those who are writing June exam that I mentioned at the end of April, no, you wouldn't be impacted. You'll still be able to access Study Hub and all other ACCA resources. So I hope I responded to as many questions as possible. I can drop my number if we're done with this section, so I can pick it up with any other students.
All right, thank you very much, Etisong. Let me just quickly confirm something. EPSM is paid for now. Are you saying that the learning modules, all those modules that come at the end of each of the stages, like knowledge, expertise, and strategic professional, those modules, are they going to be free going forward?
As far as I know, the employability modules would not be charged, right? But
Okay.
I can take that away as a feedback and come back to you and the
Okay.
community with a confirmed feedback on that.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are going to move on now. Thank you very much, Etisong, for your time and those responses. And thanks to all those that have asked questions as well.
Thank you, Shay.
Yeah, you're welcome. Manager, over to you.
All right, thank you, everyone. Yeah, so what we have next is our panel session. We have an interesting topic to talk about. We are looking at the accountants of today, the skill beyond debit and credit. So I'd like to confirm if Tommy is in the meeting. Yeah, please, can you confirm?
Good morning, Mr. Olumide. Yes, I'm in the meeting.
It's nice to hand over to a lady for the first time today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to Ivy League ACCA Open Day. My name is, like Mr. Olumide mentioned, Tomi Ibadin, and I'll be moderating today's panel's discussion. Okay. Our conversation today is themed The Accountant of Today, Skills Beyond Debits and Credits. And I mean, based off what we've been listening to, that topic is very, very intentional. So I think it's good to provide a bit of context to what we'll be talking about today with our amazing panelists, all right? So for a long time, accounting was seen as a profession focused mainly on recording transactions, preparing reports, ensuring compliance, etc. and etc. But as we know, the world is changing every day. Technology has changed, businesses have, and the way they are carried out have changed as well. And obviously, the expectations from accountants have changed as well. All right. In today's world, accountants are no longer, just people who are required to prepare numbers. Now they're expected to explain those numbers, challenge assumptions, manage risk, support strategy, and influence decisions. All right. And in many organizations, accountants now sit at the center of decision making and not just in the finance department as it used to be. So I hope I'm not speaking too fast. I'm sorry. This shift has created, very, very important questions, especially for students and professionals in the accounting department. Questions like, what skills really matter today? How does technology affect our relevance as accountants? What do employers actually look for, beyond exam pass rates or beyond exam passes? What are employers actually looking for? And how does a qualification like ACCA prepare you for this evolving role? So all of these and more, if you're what we're going to be unpacking today, okay? Just before we start, this session is designed to be practical and forward-looking, and so I encourage you to listen actively, take notes, reflect on how the insights that will be shared today can shape your journey as a future-ready accounting professional. All right. So we're privileged to have a diverse panel representing professional practice, industry leadership, education, and real-world career experience. So today is quite loaded. Okay. Each panelist will be bringing a unique perspective on what it really means to be an accountant in today's world. Joining us today, first of all, we have Mrs. Adetutu Oludari. She's a trailblazer in the financial management, currently serving as the Chief Financial Officer at Optimus Bank. I think that deserves a round of applause.
with extensive experience in risk management, corporate finance, and compliance. She brings unmatched insight into the financial operations that power some of Nigeria's leading institutions. I think that's really powerful. Next, we have Dr. Uchechukwu Chinedu. Is the Associate Director at EY and the Master of Corporate Reporting and Audit Quality. His expertise in IFRS, professional standards, and governance has made him a trusted advisor to top tier companies, shaping the way financial reporting is practiced in Nigeria and across the internet. Another powerful profile. Joining them, we have Dr. Jonathan Ikeolumba, is managing partner at Office Lot Consulting and the director at Ivy League Associates. He's a dynamic thought leader in financial strategy, sustainability reporting, and SME advisory. Jonathan combines deep technical knowledge with an inspiring commitment to professional development. And lastly, we have Sheyo Shibolu, a global finance strategist and educator, founder of Ivy League Associates, and former ACCA Governing Council member. She is renowned for guiding financial professionals to international excellence, bridging technical expertise with real-world application in accounting, investment, and advisory. I think this is going to be a really, really interesting conversation, and I'm really looking forward to it. So do we have our panelists around, please? Nice to have everyone present today. Um, just to start, my first question would be going to Adetutu Oludare. Welcome, Adetutu Oludare. So the first question
Yes,
basically, thank you. Thank you very much. Hope you're having a great time. You've been having a good time.
yes. Thank you. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, absolutely, I
All
can.
right, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So many students still think that accounting is mainly about postings and reconciliations, obviously based off the way it used to be. From your experiences, why are these traditional skills no longer enough in today's workplace, and how would you say the role has evolved over time?
Okay, thank you so much for
Thank
the
you.
insightful question, and good morning to everyone and my co-panelists. The traditional role of an accountant has really evolved over time, and it has evolved into many parts. The work of an accountant is still same; it hasn't changed, but things have evolved, right? It's just as saying, if you drive a very old car and you're driving a new car, you're still driving. It's still the car, but then the the aesthetics of the car and everything about the car has then changed. The the traditional role of an accountant used to be, I remember we had that definition of someone that is responsible for recording, analyzing, all those things that we used to have. Those roles haven't changed. However, the way we do them have really evolved and has changed significantly. Again, because of automation, um, IT, technology, artificial intelligence, they are things that we have come to embrace. The world is changing, and the role of an accountant has to evolve as well. I really do not always like to refer to us as accountants. I like to call us finance professionals because that's what we do. We're people that look at numbers and we can tell the future from just seeing numbers. So our role has just evolved from that, just churning and analyzing past and historical data alone, into taking insights from what has happened in the past and predicting the future. So the first thing that has happened to us is that we have moved to be business advisors. So we are people that then advise people. We advise other people. We sit on panels, we sit on boards, we sit on, organization structures, and we advise people what we can see with numbers. An accountant is analytical, and therefore data analysis comes very easy to us, right? So I always encourage people, one of the things that you can do to yourself as an accountant, and I'm so happy with what ACCA is doing with the change in the structure, because already by going through the journey of ACCA, you already become a data analyst. It is easier for an accountant to take on the skill of a data analyst because we are already very analytical. So there's a difference between, so if you were to present, if I have people that work with me and you were to present what has happened in our organization in a particular period, I don't just want them to tell me our sales grew by 10% and that's it, right? I want to hear, yes, we grew by 10%. Because we have grown by 10%, we need to focus on A, B, C, D. Trend and analysis has shown that because we did A, B, C, D last month, we can then focus on this other thing this month. So we are using data to predict the future of the organization. And that way, we're able to add better value. So our role has changed from just thinking and before it was we were inundated with just trying to ensure that the number balance and then you're spending hours trying to prepare the financial statement. But now with automated tools, you can download your trial balance and prepare the accounts in a jiffy. Now you're sitting with the numbers and making meaningful, insightful decisions from the numbers you can see. And then you are advising. Yeah, then breaking it down into, okay, if we focus based on this data we're seeing, if we focus on this business line, we would make additional 30 billion in terms of profitability. If we stop doing this particular thing over the time, we've seen that in the past 5 years, we have invested time and energy on this product, and this product is not going to take us anywhere. We have predicted that if we drop it, we will save ourselves cost of so. So people are listening to you better because what you're doing is bringing immense value to them. So our role positions us. In fact, the any organization you work for, whether it is financial service, whether it's manufacturing, your organization cannot actually function without insights from you. So you're not like the oracle that predicts the future. And then what makes it even better is that your predictions then come to pass, right? You are then comparing your predicted numbers with actual numbers, and everybody can see that what you predicted based on the data is the reality. So everybody then, respects the decisions that come from you because of the skills you own. So our role has really evolved. It has changed, and we have to also ensure that we remain relevant. ACCA has positioned us. In fact, for me as a person, I still go back to some of the things that I learned in ACCA. Some of in fact, I think that paper, business, I think is the one that has evolved into business advisory and business analysis now. It's still a paper that I go to take learnings because you can't finish learning the things that you gain from that. You keep learning, keep getting advisory from the things you have learned in ACCA. So ACCA positions you to continue to be relevant for the future. So data analytics is a way to go. Learning automation and robotics is a way to go. Embracing artificial intelligence is a way to go. And of course, ensuring that you're no longer seeing yourself as a reporter, but as a business decision person. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Absolutely brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. And thank you so much. What I'm taking from that is, I mean, finance professionals are not just, releasing data and, interpreting figures, but now they are also fully going into advisory in the real life business context. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And um, is there something, that's um is now required from a financial team that wasn't required exactly before, just to follow up from that, because I mean now that is into advisory, do they need more experiences in other areas?
Yes, yes. So prior to now, and I think it's still a skill that is required. As accountants, we are analytical, and therefore, so one thing I did for my team recently is I gave an assignment for a task that everybody thought that was a bit very it was going to be a difficult thing to do, but I thought that I needed to empower them for them to be able to deliver these results, right? So we went to a particular institution in Nigeria that does data analytics. And then they went to learn how to do Power BI. They went to learn how to do modeling. And I promise you, in less than 3 months, they themselves were surprised as to the things that they could do. These are people that are currently writing ACCA with Ivy League. They are not qualified yet, but the extent of values that they have brought to the table because they were pushed to do so is phenomenal. Today they sit down, we can sit today in my institution and get a summary of our analysis of our performance every morning before 10 a.m. thanks to the skills that they've gathered from both their ACCA journey and from learning, modeling and Power BI. So they're able to, put data analytics to interpret numbers. So every morning we can see what we've done, we can see the growth in the lines, we can tell what we need to do next. It's just easier. So as accountants or as finance professional, please learn data analytics. It is very important. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for. Whatever it is that is easier for you, learn Python, the basic Python. There's Python for dummies. And when you hear accounting for dummy, it doesn't mean that you're a dummy, right? It just means that you have to start from the baseline, right? Those things we are very much attuned to, and you don't even have to be an accountant you don't have to have done accounting in your primary education. From my experience, people that didn't even do accounting do better with ACCA, right? People that didn't do accounting do better with ACCA. So all you need is that open mind, learn data analytics skill, practice with artificial intelligence, learn financial modeling skills, because it will help you with prediction and forecasting. Because our work has moved into, you just want to predict the future, you want to forecast, and you want to be accurate. Of course, you will take notes of externalities, and then I want also not talk about risk management, right? Our work is also to proactively identify where there could be a gap. Again, you don't just want to make the money and lose it. So, as accountant, you want to be able to proactively identify where there could be a risk, and you want to also put things in place to mitigate such risk. So all the skills exposes your mind to thinking about risk and fixing the risk. Because again, it's not enough to say we have the risk that we have a credit risk. What do we do to ensure it's mitigated? All the learnings, both from your ACCA and from other soft skills that you get, will help you to be able to open your mind to be able to identify certain things, and then you would add value. One other thing that we have done as an institution is to put people, prior to now, you're waiting for the accounting department to send you numbers. But now we are embedding the finance professional in business. So if you have a particular business area, we have a finance professional that is dedicated to that business, whose work is to help them understand the risk exposure that they have, help them know what product line they should be focusing on, and help them with how to interpret their numbers. People just go all out, raise business, but you want to know whether your effort is even bringing the value to the table. So you're like a value driver. Some finance functions now, they call the finance function value drivers or value units. So you have evolved from just being the reporting unit to a unit that provides value. So it's the skills and the things you can learn is enormous. Please, in all your gettings, ensure that you understand data analytics, ensure that you swing into um, being a professional risk person, ensure that you are a strategic business analyst where your value transcends debit credit. Thank you.
Thank you, Adetutu. I think there was so much knowledge shared, so much wisdom, and I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. So now that we've established, I think this question will be going to Dr. Jonathan. So now that we've established that obviously one of the biggest drivers of this change in the financial sector is technology, Jonathan, how would you say that technology is shaping the role of accountants today?
All right, thank you. And I think I should start by first of all saying a happy new year to everyone, and also to the wonderful panel as well too. So just a pleasure to be here as well. Okay, so a direct question around technology. I think, to be honest, is multifaceted in terms of how we look at the way technology is revolutionizing accounting. I even sometimes even make an argument that we can even still break tech into so many aspects to look at the impact on accounting. I would like to situate a bit AI, so I'll talk a bit about AI. So I'll speak about every other technology, then I'll come a bit to AI. So I think there are quite a lot of very strong ones. And so typically in many firms, and also from my experience as well too, so you tend to find, so when I think about rules like what I might call tech audits, right? So that's easily one sort of pathway where I can sort of see people with accounting sort of background who are very passionate about tech. I see something like that. I've seen a lot of people with those kind of mixed skill sets. But obviously, so that's one direction. But obviously, even in terms of the fact that many manual tasks and activities that we do, I mean, we've had a lot of discussion around the fact that even in the theme around our panel is beyond debit and credit. So many of those things, I mean, if we were studying accounting maybe about 20 years ago, there would have been quite a lot in terms of the volume of books you would have had to do in your study as it is. But many of these things are quite very automated. Many systems, many people will become accountants today, not even knowing how we went through about closing our books in the way we used to study and sort of prepare for some of these examinations. So even in terms of just simplifying manual processes, I think that's also one sort of way we can look at value. There's quite a lot also happening in terms of blockchain. So I teach a course in ACCA called Strategic Business Leader, and one of the topics we teach around is decentralized tech or decentralized finance technologies, and blockchain sits at the heart of that. I think that's such a very revolutionary technology. I was so interested in it that one of the doctorate programs I pursued was in blockchain, just really to understand what this technology could mean. And there's quite a lot. So many of us might want to pay our attention to what's happening around what I might call the Web3 and the whole decentralized sort of finance sort of thing. And there's quite a lot of young people around the Gen Zs who are passionate about understanding what I might call digital finance in a sense. So that's also one way to sort of look at that. Then there's cloud accounting, cloud computing, if you like to look at that. I think that because of the way data is being gathered, used, stored. So it also means that many investments around how data is being stored now is now used. We now leverage cloud technologies for things like that. So I think there's a all sort of that opportunity in terms of how there are skills around cloud computing that we also need accountants to also learn around, also even in the business case around justifying why firms should move away from owning some of these technologies but then hosting their data on cloud technology platforms. So that's also some sense. Then obviously cybersecurity has also been a big one. I spoke about tech audit and also in a sense some things around cybersecurity with the way data is exploding right now. So we've also going to pay attention to the security around that data. I think that accountants are also leading in the forefront of ensuring that the security of our data is something that we should be well assured around. Then there's AI. I mean, Tutu was speaking about skills around modeling, right? But there's quite a lot in that whole space. What I might call the data explosion sort of family, where we're looking at skills like machine learning, we're looking at robotics, we're looking at what AI can do, and within AI, it can be quite very diverse. There's an AI app I've been engaging on. It's called Book Bookkeeper Dots. Bookkeeper bots that just within a minute, literally, you can translate all your data into reports. It's and it's free. I think it's called BotKeeper. I just remembered it now, BotKeeper. So it's quite a lot, and it also means that in the way we've engaged in data handling data as well too, right? AI has sort of transformed all that. I was also having a conversation with someone in audit, and he was saying to me that even clients are looking at how they are pricing, audits. Audit firms in providing audit services, because the argument is that many of the work they would need to do, like with AI and systems like that, that it can somewhat like simplify the turnaround time involved in those things. things. So I'm just saying that it's multifaceted in terms of what technology can do, whether it's in the manual things that can be automated, or whether it's around the data storage, or whether it's even around the potentials that we are seeing in AI and doing a lot around analysis and predicting also the future as well too with data. So I think we are in such a very interesting time. I'll just add that ACC has a fantastic portal called the ACC Digital Hub. We might want to engage on that and just see how ACC views technology and finance, blending together. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. I'm sorry, I'm just going to take a quick follow-up on that. The way now conversations are going on, oh, AI is taking a lot of our jobs, and there are all of these fears that people are saying that some roles are becoming irrelevant. Would you say that in the financial world, there are some tasks that are disappearing? Would you, just so that students can keep an open mind on areas or skills that they need to further develop? Would you say that there are some jobs that AI has not taken over in?
I mean, the argument is really not just for finance. I think with everything, I think things that are quite very, what I would call operational, quite very routine, I think that those things are giving way. I think where we're seeing value for people, we've used that word a lot in this session, is really in things that are quite strategic, future thinking. Those are the kind of things that senior business leaders are looking out for. So I think that the bets on skill sets to develop will be skill sets where we can make sense out of what we are doing. We can predict, we can help business people to use the word insights. We can uncover insights for people. So I think that obviously we are going to see, a lot of that emphasis. And even in the way the curriculum is being redesigned, there's all sort of that sort of, narratives around, looking at insights. And even in the way some of the skills that are being taught now is really focused on high-end skills like that, strategic thinking, commercial analysis, professional skepticism. So I think that those are the sort of skills that the world really sort of expects now. Today's business expects from accountants, and we should be well positioned for that. There's a portal called careers.accglobal.com, and sometimes I just go in there just to get a sense on, what is it like today? What do people want from an accountant today? And I see some kind of requirements, right? So I'm looking at things around, we want to see what I'll call a data engineer, a data visualizer, and anyone that can bring a finance skill to that. I was looking at an article ACCA released around why programming is such a skill for the accountants of today. So I think that, skills that can allow businesses sort of predict, what perhaps might be the direction for them, that can help them look at different scenarios and stay ahead of competition. I think those are the kind of skills that accountants, who are well positioned, by the way, because we are data driven in the way we go about studying for our curriculum. So I think that those are the kind of skills that will be valued. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Just look at the kind of jobs out there that are expected of an accountant, and you see many of these things are really around forward thinking sort of expectations.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Doctor. Okay, let's just talk about skills. I think I'll be forwarding this question to Shay. We've talked about how technology is obviously taking over, routine tasks and all of that. So it's important, for accountants, or according to what Aditya said, finance professionals to stand out, to have skills that make them to stand out. Shay, if an ACCA student walked into an organization today, what skills, beyond technical knowledge, would immediately make them to stand out? Because I'm sure a lot of students would want to know this ACCA edge.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy. I think maybe I would start with this publication by ACC, and I think everybody should be interested in it. It's published quite a number of months ago, but it does reveal what employers are thinking about and what senior financial professionals do believe are critical skills that accountants or finance professionals need to have. I think the report is called Professional Accountants, the Future, something like that, which you can find online. In that report or that survey, they identified 7 what they call quotients, or you can call it critical skills that senior finance professionals should have. They categorize it into, technical and ethical skills, um, intelligence skills, vision skills, experience skills, creativity, digital, emotional intelligence, and I think there's one more. Let me just take 2 or 3 of these skills. I think one baseline, extremely important, is technical and ethical skills. That's like the foundation. So if you're an accountant and you prepare financial statements, you need to know the accounting standards, for example. If you're an auditor, you provide assurance on various financial information, you need to know the professional standards, the auditing standards. If you are a finance professionals, as most of us are and aspiring to be, you need to know the ethical standards that govern the work we do. So, ability to understand what those standards require and being able to ensure that you comply and also apply necessary judgment where it's required is extremely important. That's like the foundation. But beyond that, if you pick something like creativity skills, it's very, very important. So if I'm to give an example of the work I do, I work in a team where when people have problems with how they should report certain transactions, they bring it to us. Now, simple things don't come to my team. In fact, the reason why it is on my desk or my team's desk is because it is complicated and the standards are not very clear on what to do. Now, that doesn't mean we just fashion out anything to make reporting easier. It does mean that we have to consider several factors, several requirements of the standard, several requirements of regulations, several requirements of related to the various stakeholders that the entity, will be managing as part of this process, and ensure that we provide an advice that is robust enough technically, that can stand technical scrutiny, that can stand regulatory scrutiny, and that can also stand market scrutiny. This will require thinking outside the box. This will require, thinking differently, considering various factors. And so that creativity comes in, naturally and is extremely important. So if, for example, you're someone who can only do things because it is written down somewhere, or there's already a report template that you must use and all of that, you may really not survive in that kind of team, as an example. So that's creativity. Another one, digital skills. I mean, Jonathan has talked about, technology and all of that, and how it's shaping the work we do. I think it's very important that finance professionals, whether you're senior or you're aspiring, doesn't really matter. Technology will affect everything we do. And the earlier we start, paying attention to evolving trends in this area, the better, the more we start inculcating those skills. So whether you're in audit, auditors now use, Tutu was talking about data analytics earlier on. So there are audit analytics tools that allow, one of the core thing in audit is we do samples, right? But now 100% testing is quite popular for a number of areas where auditors carry out their audits because of this technology. You also have systems, AI systems that, for example, can identify anomalies in journal entry postings. Even the tax professionals are not left out. If I, for example, say that I want to open a subsidiary, invest in a subsidiary in South Africa, there are now AI tools, firm-specific AI tools based on trained models, especially by the global accounting firms, wherein you can put in some of these scenarios. And just the same way you use ChatGPT to ask, what's the tax implication of me buying a house and holding it as an investment in the UK. It's the same way to, you can query internal systems that are AI driven to ask about the impact of such decisions, investment decisions in South Africa, for example. There are also technologies that can, pretty much analyze lots of invoices to, for example, determine tax treatment, as an example. In the area of performance reporting or management accounting, you have predictive tools. To pick from the example Tutu gave earlier on, you now have tools that can tell you if, for example, exchange rate moved by X to Y, what's going to be the impact on my sales? What's going to be the impact on my cash flows if sales drop by 10%, for example? So you have such tools that can help you look into the future, help you assess risks, which was something that was really not, available a couple of years back. So that's digital skills, extremely important. I think the third one I would like to touch on is emotional intelligence. And that's important because, and that doesn't mean others are not important, but because we always work in teams, right? You need to be able to know who you're working with so as to be able to get the best out of them. So whether it's your junior team members or subordinates, whether it's the people you report to, extremely important to understand emotions, to understand how to motivate people and how you can get the best out of your team under various complex situations. So I think those are some very, very important skills. But I would again say it would be nice to go through that report to identify some of those additional things that the survey actually shows.
Thank you, Shay. I think that was absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, thank you so much. I mean, emotional intelligence is not something you hear often as one of the skills for people to have in the workplace, but it is actually very important, very, very important, because if a colleague or a person in a team is, not emotionally okay, they can't even give their best, effort and give the best advice. So I think that's a very, very important skill that you've mentioned. This question will be going to Chinedu. Beyond skills and training, obviously another critical area for accountants is judgment and ethics. So this brings us to our next question. Chinedu, how important is professional judgment in modern accounting? How important would you say it is?
Okay, thanks, Tommy, and good morning, everyone. Happy to be here. Yeah, so when it comes to judgment in modern accounting, well, let me start from where we are coming from, right? Judgment has always been central when it comes to financial reporting, especially with respect to estimates, those estimates and assumptions we make. Probably before now, impairment assessments, fair value measurements, provisions, if we're calculating, in the previous IS39, we're using incurred loss model, which is now expected credit loss model. All of those assumptions and estimates, including depreciation calculations, were typically done manually. It may not have automated tools that were used in then, but even then, we still require judgment to be able to conclude when you have outcomes, several outcomes, and you need to make a decision about the best outcome that will be appropriate for the transaction, to account for the transaction. So you require judgment to take some of those professional decisions. Now, this time around, all of these, or most of these estimates and judgments are now automated. It requires systems to process the data. And modern accounting is really all about the role of technology in accounting for transactions and accounting for events and conditions that reporting entities experience. So when we talk about judgments in this modern accounting, those systems will still have to process the transactions, they still have to churn out the numbers. But the systems do not necessarily replace human judgment, especially where there are several outcomes or various, alternative scenarios. So the previous speakers have already spoken about the important role of automations and the importance of having the skill that is required to interpret those numbers. But a very good important skill, professional accountants should also have this time around in the event of the developing and emerging technologies is being able to make professional judgments, especially where the system has already processed and the system is not entirely conclusive. So judgments helps professional accountants to be able to take that decision and be able to advise reporting entities on the best way to comply with IFRS accounting standards. So if I want to put it in a simple way, I would like to say that especially because we are using IFRS that is principle based. So if you take a step back, to think about this framework called IFRS, which is the basis for the reporting framework we use in ACCN, you would notice that it is entirely principle based. There are areas where you will still be allowed, even though the standard says these are the things that should be done. There are areas where you're still allowed to sit back, think about the transaction, think about the stakeholders, think about what the stakeholders are expecting, and then be able to, reach that conclusion that provides the most useful information to these relevant stakeholders. So it gives you that room to be able to make professional decisions, which you may not see in a rigid framework or a reporting framework that is rule-based or rigid-based. I don't want to mention some reporting frameworks, but just to mention that IFRS is, principle-based framework. So because it's principle-based, judgment plays, that critical role for professional accountants to be able to make those decisions, evaluate outcomes, be able to apply ethical reasoning, apply that skepticism, and also apply their experience in able to arrive at that at the best decision that will provide useful information to the users of the financial statement. So if I would just like to conclude, I think I would just say that sound judgment indeed, underpins the credibility of financial reporting. And if that sound judgment is applied consistently, financial reporting entities will be able to achieve a more ethical and a more transparent reporting. And this ultimately ensures that financial statements are not just compliant, but also useful to the users of the financial statement in terms of decision making. So I think that answers the question. The role of professional judgment is ultimately helps professional accountants to be able to make that the best decision. And of course, this decision will be useful to the users of the financial statement in also making that decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Chinedu. I think that was really packed. Thank you so much. And of course, judgment is only as effective as one's ability to communicate it, and which would lead me to my next focus of communication. Okay. Adetutu, so many technically strong accountants sometimes struggle with communication. How important would you say communication is in today's accounting role?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah, communication is very, very, thanks for the question. And
Thank
communication
you.
is very, very important. And that's actually what we're doing now. When you know the numbers and you have been able to interpret the numbers, you have been able to do predictive analysis, you must also be able to communicate it effectively because people are looking forward to you analyzing and interpreting for them. So they want you to be able to give them insights as to what you can see with the numbers. So a very important tool or skill that an accountant has to have for the future is to be able to readily communicate in the event that you have to speak about the numbers yourself or interpret the numbers in a way that people can also understand. So it's something that we have to put in mind. We have to ensure that we do communicate numbers very accurately, whether you are making the presentation, having to talk to people, or whether you have to analyze the numbers and then have people interpret for you, or have people, or have it interpreted in a way that other people can make an informed decision from it. One of the roles of an accountant is that you pick do numbers and people use it to make informed decisions. If you remember that old definition of accounting, you help people to make informed decisions with the data that you have gathered. So effectively communicating with clear insight is very important so that people can pick actionable um, insights from the things you've done. So that's a tool that a future ready accountant should possess.
Thank you, Aditi. So that was brilliant. Thank you. So just to manage time, because I think we're running out of time, I'm just going to shoot out two more questions quickly to Mr. Jonathan, one more to Chinedu, and another one for Shay. So Jonathan, in practical terms, how would you say ACCA prepares students for today's accounting roles, and what other career paths can ACCA qualified professionals explore beyond audit or financial roles?
Thank you. I think your first question on how does ACC prepare students, I think that's even one of the biggest value proposition behind the ACC qualification. The whole structure of the examination and even in the content and in the support material is such that it is future fit. So we say future ready accountants. That's the whole idea. So for example, if you have an opportunity to have engaged on the study hub, Etison was speaking about the study hub and he did say that that's like a free content for people who are studying for the curriculum. Essentially, in the way the curriculum, so I'll sort of implore everyone for every course you are writing in ACC to just download a copy of the syllabus guide. If you look at the way the syllabus guide is, one of the things it does is that it maps out several parts of the syllabus to learning outcomes. And even those learning outcomes in itself is also linked to practical experience outcomes in itself, right? So there's that relationship, right, between what we study. We always say we have the 3 E's to become an ACC accountant, right? So exam, experience, and ethics, right? So all of these things are quite integrated, such that by the time you would have finished your ACCA qualification and have gone through the process of becoming a member, you're just like a plug and play sort of accountant. You'd have heard Tutu, and a couple of people always say it every time that they still find themselves going back to the learning materials to sort of go back and keep themselves abreast of some of the things that are happening. So I think that that's just something to see in our learning content materials, the study hub, even in the way our questions are, even in the verbs that are used in even testing the exam questions in itself is such that there's deep thinking that is required of you, somewhat like puts you in a position like if this was in the workplace. I mean, if you get to the level where we are looking at the strategic professional papers in itself, sometimes it even places you at a very strategic level within the organization or at a C-suite sort of level or external consultant sort of level in the exam. So I'll just say to you that the direct response is that the way the syllabus is structured, the way the exam is tested, the way the design of the content is such, it just makes anyone who wants to become an accountant for today and the future just like a plug and play sort of scenario for the person. The second question you asked me was about what are some of the rules, right? Was that it? Some of the rules we're seeing
Mm.
today. Yeah. So, for example, I'm very passionate about passionate about strategy and sustainability, right? So I'm a bit different from like what you see like a Sheye or a Dr. Chinedu Aditu to really is. And that's how diverse ACC is, right? So there are people who are tech enthusiasts now coming into ACC, digital, fanatics that who love things around what is going on with the latest tech and AI and all of all that. That's one rule. There are people who love to do things around advisory and support for businesses. Like I love sustainability and strategy consulting. That's also some of the things I'm focused on. And those who want to go into data and business analyst, there's that one for you. The traditional rules like taxation, like audits, financial reporting, those rules will still be there, right? So I think that the way I sort of look at what rules are coming up, I think it's rules that really is leading the business to make the right decisions, right? And I think those are the kind of rules we'll begin to see, right? So business analysts, business strategists, in addition to our core in itself. So those are the kind of rules that we're seeing. To save time, I hope that helped.
Yes, it did. It did. Thank you. Thank you. Sure, a lot of students have written a lot of things down. Just to conclude, Shay, in one sentence, what advice would you give to everyone attending this open day who wants to succeed as a finance professional? I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. In one sentence, that's difficult. Well, I would say intellectual curiosity. So that's just basically, keep learning. If you're starting out your career, learn different things, try out different things. And then as you try out different things, you'll probably find an area that you love. Jonathan just outlined different areas of finance that may be of interest to you. Professional skills, extremely important as well, whether it's communication skills, commercial acumen, all those things that you will see are professional skills that they give marks for at professional level in ACCA. So pretty much just re-emphasizing the fact that the ACCA qualification not only prepares you for technical knowledge, but also the workplace skills that you need. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Just before we take questions, because I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions to ask, I just want to thank my panelists for such, for sharing such invaluable insights. And thank you everyone for your questions. So yeah, I'll just leave the floor open for questions and for Mr. Olumide to take over. Thank you so much.
And Tommy, I want to say you've done a good job as well too. So we should also thank you as well too.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jonathan.
Tommy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you,
you, everyone.
department. So please, if you have any question, you can just raise your hand. If you have any question, please raise your hand before we go to
So
manager,
some
can I
yeah, go on.
suggest that we just continue and we can take all the questions at the end because we are significantly out of time, okay?
Okay, that's fine, sir. I think that's fine. All right, sir. I will hand over to you to.
Okay, so I will just run through how we support our students we in your ACCA journey. A couple of things here. So please, if you have any questions, just take note of them and you can then raise your hand. Next slide, please. So we have three different lecture streams that you can join. We have the standard lectures, which is for June and December exams. So the one for June exams will be starting next weekend, while the one for March exam is the intensive classes, which has actually started today. The standard class is for a period of 10 weeks plus a mid-diet break, making a total of 11 weekends. We give detailed lectures, so there will be live classes combined with pre-recorded videos that you will need to watch before coming to your live class. So typically lecture starts immediately after release of results. And in addition to the weekend classes that happens for 10 weekends, we also have weekday evening question practice sessions. I think we have 4 of it that would happen based on designated dates as contained in the lecture plan. However, if you intend to write March exams or September, as the case may be, that may be because you are either retaking the paper or you've taken standard lectures before and you just want to complement it with an intensive revision course. Lectures have started today already, and it will flow for 7 weeks. And then there are also weekday evening question practice sessions assigned to intensive classes. Revision course is also available for June and December exams. The revision classes are exam focused. They are suitable for candidates who have completed standard lectures or who have been doing self-study and want to complement it with a revision course. It's for about 6 weeks plus 1 week, which is for mock exams, written mock exams that you can write and submit so that it can be graded by the tutors. So typically you would either register for the standard lectures class, which is what an overwhelming number of students do register for, or you can register for intensive lectures if you meet the criteria. Next slide, please. And then we have our full-time weekday classes, which currently focuses on the knowledge module papers and foundation papers. They are suitable for students who have their O-level, for example, and would like to study CCA, university students, pre-university students, or NYSC students. If it's NYSC, depending on what you studied in school, you may get exemption from the knowledge module. So that means you will not be able to take those papers. We also support you with initial registration, and for the knowledge module papers, as you heard earlier, that is on demand. You can write it whenever you feel prepared for it. Usually that would happen at the end of standard lectures. Next slide, please. This is an example of a lecture plan, and as you can see here, every paper has a lecture plan, and the lecture plan will tell you what we are to cover on each day and when lectures will start and end. So as an example, this is a lecture plan for advanced financial management, a professional level paper, and I believe it's for standard class, starting 17th of January. So you can see there, it shows you the topics for the first live class 1, and it shows you the tutor
You're
that
not
is to take
sharing.
it.
Sorry. You're not sharing. I can't see any screen unless I'm.
Yeah, sorry, Delis, that must be on your side. The screen is up. And please, if you have a challenge or any issue, just type in the chat area so that we can avoid interruptions, okay? Pre-recorded videos are also stated. So for example, before live class 2, students are expected to watch the videos on the role of financial strategy, economic environment for multinationals, and equity issues. The video length is also stated, 4 hours in this case, and then you come for live class 2. And it goes on and on and on till the end of the session. This is just an extract of the full lecture plan for AFM. So once you start your lectures, you should go into the class material folder and familiarize yourself with the lecture plan. Very, very important tool for you to plan your progress as you continue lecturing. You can also use it to design your own personal study plan as well. Just as we have a role of guiding you through the various subjects that you have registered for and teaching and providing guidance and solving questions, etc., you also have a role as students to play. To be quite honest with you, Your own role is greater than our own role. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to you being in the exam hall and being able to you being in the exam hall and being able to answer the question set before you. So we always advise that you attend all classes, extremely important. Don't miss a live class. Focus and participate. There are so many things that are competing for your attention. You have to ensure that when you are in the classroom, you are in the classroom, okay? Ask questions, answer questions asked by the tutor. Get engaged. It's extremely important so that you can take the best out of the online class. Online class has its benefits, but it also has its demerits. And one of it is the ease of being distracted, okay? It is not appropriate for you to be attending lectures while you are, doing some other tasks. It's important to completely focus during that period. Watch assigned videos, do your own work, homework assigned to each of those weeks when you are watching your pre-recorded videos. So please ensure that you watch the videos before you come for the live class. The reason why this is important is that the tutor will make an assumption that you have watched the videos as they take specific topics. So usually they will provide an overview and then they will solve questions on the topics. Detailed teaching regarding those topics are contained in the pre-recorded video, which you would have access to once you register. It's important to also attempt 3 mock exams. We advise students to attempt mock exams before they go for the live exams. And as Etisong mentioned during his presentation, the study up is the official textbook. So we don't recommend any other textbook, neither do we give textbooks to our students. We only give you the class materials that we use to teach, which includes the PowerPoint slides, for example, and maybe a handful of materials as well. But the study up is the detailed one source material that you can use to prepare for your exams. And in terms of practicing questions, you use the practice platform. When you register, one of the onboarding packs that will be sent to you, actually it's just one pack that will be sent to you. It contains links to videos that will show you a couple of things. For example, how to use the study hub, a link to a video on how to use the practice platform, how to complete your feedback when it's time to give feedback, how to log in into your class, and things like that. So watch out for that email that will come from the admin team once you have registered for lectures. Next slide, please. All right, I think that is it for this open day session. So now we will have time to take your questions. These are our social media pages. So we do ask that you look for this on each of the platforms and follow us. Very insightful things that our social media team posts on our page. So you find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, X, and the rest. Okay, so it's that time when we can take all the questions that you have that we have not been able to answer. So if you have any question, you can raise your hand. But I would like to start with a question asked by Dillis the other time, which I did not respond to because we were focusing on some other things at that time. So she was asking about triple A and how the fact that she had been having issues with the paper. And I think that is quite paper specific. So I'll take it broadly. I think I've just talked about how we provide lectures, right? The lecture plan, the pre-recorded videos, the things you need to do as a student. I do believe that if you follow those steps diligently, you will pass triple A. I know AAA can sometimes, not all the times, sometimes be a stubborn paper, and that's because it is very slippery. It's easy to understand, but it's also easy to write out of point. The best way to get the best out of AAA is to participate in class, attend all lectures, answer questions, answer the assignments. Manager, you can still put the slide on the social media page up, please. Okay. Answer questions, um, do assignments, because I often say that the best way to know whether someone has written something that is right or wrong is to hear or see what the person is writing or saying, as the case may be. So active engagement is extremely important for AAA. And then when it's time for mock exams, do a mock exam, submit it, get a feedback from the tutor. I think all these things will help you pass that paper. You also said you have written SBR a long time ago. That is not particularly helpful for AAA, I must emphasize, because AAA does build on the knowledge you have gained from SBR, particularly from the perspective of the financial reporting standards, IFRS, that you learned. So what that will mean is that you have a little extra work to do to keep yourself up to date with the IFRSs, because you will need them as part of your AAA preparation. But we can take all of that during the first class for AAA, which is next weekend. Or if you're attending the intensive class, that should be tomorrow. Miriam, go ahead with your question.
My apologies. My hands have been raised since Etisong's session. So sorry.
Okay, so you don't have a question. All right, go ahead. Kelechi, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. So for me, I wanted to ask question regarding the experience, the 36 months experience and the supervisor, you having a supervisor that is an IFAC member. What if in a situation that maybe the person's organization, there is no supervisor that is an IFAC member, whereas the person has worked for, say, more than the 36 months experience requirement? How can the person go about it?
All right,
Then
thank you,
also,
Kelechi. Yeah.
okay. Then also, this exemption of these new changes in that is coming into effect in 2027, how will it affect? Does it affect some institutions that have a MOU with ACCA? For instance, ICANN, given that the courses, or for instance, PM has data analytics attached to it, is it still going to be 9, or would there be any changes? Thank you.
All right, thanks. I'll take that. Janice, go ahead. Janet, you're on mute if you're speaking. Boluwatife, go ahead, please. Boluwatife, you're on mute if you're speaking. Okay, Yusuf, go ahead, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay. Yeah. So my question is, now you register ACCA in Nigeria, but you are not in Nigeria, but you want to do exams. So how are you going to go about it? And that's my number one question. And my number two is that now, if you want to start by June, so when is the lecture is it going to start, and how am I going to get necessary information about tutor, about everything like that?
All right, manager will take that. Thank you. Fumilola, go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, sir, and thank you for the insight lectures given so far. Please, I want to ask a question on the time for the weekday evening question and answer period for those of us that do go to work and come back extremely very late. Then,
all right.
Secondly, it has to do with the during the lecture. I want to ask if you will be asked to put on our camera during lecture. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll take that. Accurate to go ahead.
It's always accurate to. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. How's everything?
Very
Happy New
well,
Year,
thank
sir.
you. Happy New Year
Yes,
to you
sir.
too.
Yes, sir. My own is my observation recently. Last time I put in for AFM, my observation is that now that you are explaining how the course is being run, so
Yep.
I missed this first class, so I didn't get that detail. So I just want to next time maybe to be as part of your demo for every particular course, that these are the things that you are expecting from us. Like my own now, I registered for AFM. They have started the class. So I didn't know how the timetable and the likes that I need to watch a certain video before the next class so that I can cope with the class. But now that you are explaining that, okay, if you want to, maybe next week class, you need to watch this video, then you'll be able to flow along in the class. So that's affected that my last time registration, so that the reason that I could not cope with the class anymore, I have to exit myself. So this time around, I just want to suggest that if there could be demo that we explain this, so that when we are going, when we are registering, we know when we're supposed to have registered, or we can get the detail. Like this next week now, it's better one register before the time, so that we watch the first video, so that when it is time for the class, we will have been in the picture and flow along in the class.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Akure. So manager will take that. So I think we can take those questions. Manager, do you want to go first, please?
Yeah, so I missed the question before this. That I came in, I only heard, I lost internet, so I only heard something in June. When is it starting? I don't know if the person is talking about the standard class. If that is this, I can.
Standard class, when is it starting? Who should they contact if they need more information? And then the person registered in Nigeria but is out of Nigeria, does that affect them?
Oh, thank you very much, sir. All right, so to respond to that question, standard class for June exam will be starting on this next week, 17th of January, and that standard class will run till the end of March. So I will encourage everyone to join immediately so that you won't miss anything. If you register in Nigeria, one thing about Ivy League lectures and ACCA flexibility is the fact that you can register anywhere, attend a class anywhere, and then also write your ACCA exam anywhere. You are not at disadvantage at all. It's just that ensure that when you are booking your exams, you are in the city or in the country where you hope to write your exam, because the centers that the system will make available to you is the ACCA exam center that is around your location as at the time you are entering. And I also want to add this, that ACCA is scrapping the remotely invigilated exams. So there won't be remote exams anymore because of the credibility of the qualification. So wherever you are, you can write the exams as long as there's an ACCA exam center in the country where you are. So if you look at the screen now, you see our social media handle, you see our phone numbers there. Those two phone numbers are active, and the social media handles are also active as well. So you can reach us on any of these handles and phone numbers that is being displayed. Then to quickly respond to Mr. I know his name, but let me call him Akure too as well. Well, I understand the fact that you missed the first class, and I also understand the fact that maybe you are not properly onboarded. But I won't want to talk about that because I know we had a lot of conversation before you register, and I've been in touch with you throughout the journey. But we'll encourage people to register early. However, if you join us midway, at Ivy League, you don't miss anything. You don't miss anything. Everything is recorded. And if you look at the lecture plan, everything is in lecture plan. There is an onboarding video that we send to every student that register, which will be sent to you as you are registering once the test is starting. That video guides you on how you can access lectures, how you can access pre-recorded video, how you can access assignments, how you can do the assignment and things like that. So all those are in a package. There's a video for it, and also there's a document that will be shared with you as well. One document that carries all this information. But however, in the course of your study, if you need anything or there are things that are not clear, maybe you don't even know the contact of your tutors, please reach out to us. We'll ensure that we respond to you, and then we get that problem solved for you. So that's that. So
All
over
right.
to you to answer.
Thank you very much. I think what I would just add to that is just look out for the document that will be shared with you, which shows how things work at Ivy League. So it basically contains the videos that will help you as part of your journey. So someone asked about PER, the practical experience requirements. If I don't have an IFAC recognized, if I don't have a member who is a member of a board, if I don't have a manager, for example, who is a member of a body recognized by IFAC, what do I do? So what this person is talking about is, let me take a step back in terms of answering that question. Remember that you need 36 months of experience, 3 years, which you can gather before, during, and or after your ACCA, or a combination of all three. 2, remember that you need to meet certain performance objectives. Those performance objectives are divided into 2. They are the essential objectives and they are the optional objective. All the essential objectives must be met, and then you need to meet maybe 2 or 3, I can't remember the exact number, out of various optional performance objectives. It does not mean you have to be working in an accounting role to meet all the objectives. For example, one of the objectives is communication. I do not think there's any role you can be in that you will not be communicating or demonstrate that you communicate. And so once you identify a performance objective that you want to meet or that you have met, you will need to write a reflective statement, submit it to your workplace mentor or performance manager, as the case may be. Now, ACCA does require that that person should be a member of a body recognized by IFAC. So whether the person is a member of ACCA or ICANN or ICAW or CPA or whatever accounting body, as long as it's recognized by IFAC, it is fine. In the unlikely case that you don't report to someone who is a member of a recognized body, then what can happen? There are 2 options. In the organization, there may be someone who is a member of a recognized body, but is not in your unit or does not know your work. So what you will do in that instance is you will need your direct, someone who knows your work, which will be your manager, for example, and you will need that other person who is a member of a recognized body but does not know your work. So you will need those 2 to sign off your performance objective. One person is signing it off as a member of a recognized body. The other person is signing it off as someone who knows your work. Okay. But if in your entire organization you don't have any chartered accountants there, then you can consider your external auditor doing that role. So again, doing that role together with the manager that you work with. If you don't have an external auditor, then with all due respect, you may need to consider changing your role if you need to get this signed off. Okay. I think on that slide, there is a video there which you guys can check out on YouTube. And that video by ACCA gives more detailed explanation of how to get through the practical experience requirement, and it's available on YouTube. You also asked about the MOU of ACCA with upcoming changes. You know, the changes will not stop an existing MOU. All necessary conversations that ACCA will need to have, I'm sure, will be had before that time. And I'm not even sure there's an MOU with ICANN, but maybe there are MOUs with other bodies as well across the world. So necessary conversations, and if there will be changes, that will be communicated ahead. I don't think you need to worry about that now. Someone asked about time for weekday evening classes. So as I said, those dates are on the lecture plan. So for example, if you're taking lectures in June, the weekday evening classes will not start until March. Okay. So, and that will be for 4 weeks. So if, for example, it's on Thursdays, it will be for 4 Thursdays, and it's from 7:30 to 9:30 typically. So you can plan ahead, and it's after work. Do you need your cameras on? No, you don't have to put on your cameras. All you need to do is log in, focus, and participate. That's all. Okay. Yes, I think that's all for that session. Eniola, go ahead with your question.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Good afternoon.
Okay, for someone that wants to opt in for the OBU BSc certification, but the person has actually written the knowledge and apply skills level exam before 2020, is the person still eligible for the OBU BSc certification?
Okay, that's noted. Manager will take that. Chinaya, go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you so much for a wonderful session. So my question is as regards practical experience requirements. So I want to know the documentation, does it start after a person has written all the necessary exams? I ask because, say for instance, if I work in an organization, I already have 3 years relevant experience. But by the time I complete or have passed on my exam, I've moved from that organization to another one. And now my new manager may not have a basis to attest to my experience. How is it
Yeah,
going to work for me?
yeah,
Thank you.
understood. Thank you, Chinaya. I will take that. NUDC Finance, go ahead.
Thank you. My question is, the intensive class, is it ongoing right now, apart from this opening day session, or this constitutes the intensive class first day? Because I just made a payment now. I'm yet to get any confirmation.
All right.
All
Yeah,
right.
noted.
Then
Thank you. Manager will take that.
All right. The next one, Chinenye says something about the PER. So I just want to ask a little question on that as well. Do the experiences gained before starting the ACCA journey form part of the PER?
All right, that's noted. I'll take that. Miriam, go ahead.
Yes, please. Thank you. My question is in regards to the ACCA pathway for the professional. So before you just give the insight on the AAA exams, that SBR is more advisable to write SBR first as it gives you foundational knowledge. I didn't know that that was so I didn't know that was an advisable pattern to it. So how do we know how to take our courses in such a way that we do not put ourselves at a disadvantage and we can write it in a progressional pattern? Thank you.
Good question. Thank you. I'll take that. Comfort, go ahead. Comfort, you're on mute if you're speaking. Okay, Yusuf, your hand is still up. Do you have a question?
Sorry, no.
All right, thank you. So looks like we're good. So we'll answer these questions. End it there. IT Song, I can see your hand up as well. We'll give you the floor if you have one or two things you want to add. Manager, do you want to go first with the ones allocated to you?
Yes, I think it's only one question that was allocated to me. That's the man who asked about the intensive class. When is it starting? He has made payment. Yeah, so it depends on the paper that you are taking. Intensive class starts today, and we've had the first class for performance management and strategic business reporting. So classes for financial management and strategic advanced financial management will be starting in the next 48 minutes. So you said you've made payment today. Yes, we are going to respond to you. We'll send you a form to fill. So everyone who made payment for classes, please ensure that you get a registration form. We'll send a registration form to you. We will fill that form. Within 48 hours, you'll be profiled. But having said that, paying today does not mean that you not attend class before your profile is being set up. You send you a link to join the class, join as a guest, and then after the class, then we can get you set up. Thank you.
All right. I'm not sure it was one. I think there were two, but yeah. If we didn't answer your question, you can put your hand up back again, just in case it was two. So, the questions on PER, number one was, when do I record my PER? Yeah, so you should record your PER as soon as you believe you have met a performance objective. So don't wait to leave the organization before you record it. If you have left the organization, as long as you still have contact with the person that will sign off your experience, your performance objective, your reflective statement, it's not a problem. Just mention the person's name and the email address, and they will get the necessary emails and access to make them sign off on the PR portal. Okay. But to, for example, avoid situations where that person too has also left the organization, or maybe you've lost contact with the person, it's always good to record it as you gain the experience. And someone also asked, can I include experience that I've gained before I complete my ACCA? Yes, yes. Whether you gained it before, it's even possible to have gained the entire 3 years before you started ACCA. So that is relevant as long as you can get your workplace mentor to certify the experience. Then someone asked about taking papers in what order. First thing I would say is ACCA does not restrict you from taking any paper in any particular order. But however, certain progression approaches are better than others. So for example, what I typically say is the essential papers at the professional level are essential anyway, so you have to do them anyway. it's always good to start with them. Maybe before that, always good to do your EPSM module, your ethics and professional skills module, because a lot of things you will learn in that module will help you with your professional level papers. Okay, so a lot of them will help you. Then always good to get SBR and SBL out of the way. SBL has a way of helping you with some of your optional papers like advanced performance management, for example, and even some areas in advanced audit and assurance, because when I teach audit and assurance, we can sometimes delve into the area of business risk. And there is no better paper in ACCA that delves into business risk than SBL. Then the next is SBR will certainly help you with advanced audit and assurance. And that's because auditors provide an opinion on the financial statements, whether they have been prepared in accordance with relevant financial reporting framework. The financial reporting framework available for that paper is IFRS, right? So knowledge of relevant accounting standards would have been gained in SBR. So if you've passed SBR or you're writing SBR, it's probably a good combination with AAA. Another thing you need to consider in determining your optional papers is how well did you perform in the equivalent skill level paper? What excites you? Uh, what excites you, and maybe as well, you know, what will you find? I think it comes down to the same thing. What will you find interesting as you read? So when I was writing ACCA, for example, I obviously knew that I will not practice UK tax, and so I had no business with UK tax. And I was left with APM, audit, and AFM. I obviously knew I loved finance and investments, so I had to do AFM. I still don't know why that paper is not mandatory for every ACCA student. I think every student should have that in their corner. But anyway, there's the skill level paper, and as you heard this song say earlier on, it's been called finance and investment going forward. And then I also knew that I enjoyed audit from the skill module paper. So not like I wanted to be an auditor or I'm an auditor, but because I enjoyed audit and assurance at the skills level, I just felt it was a good one to take advanced audit as well. So I think those will be your considerations in taking your papers. I think we have answered all the questions. I see 2 hands up. I will take those questions and then we will stop there. Please, for the avoidance of doubt, let me wrap up the open day. Thank you very much for joining us. We have now come to the end of the open day, and due apologies for overly stretching the time. We'll plan better next time. But then we're still here to take your questions if you have a question. But if you need to sign out, you can definitely sign out. Thank you. So, Kelechi, go ahead.
Okay, so sorry to draw you back a bit. The PR, you mentioned that we can work if we have external auditor. So what can I actually start the PAR even before clearing all my papers for the exams? Why I'm saying this is that,
Yes,
for
yes,
instance,
Kelechi, yes, you can. I've said it like, yeah, I've answered that. You can gain the experience before you even start ACCA, during your ACCA, and after. Anyone works as long as you can verify it by the work placement or signing of the performance objectives that you're claiming against that experience, okay? So that's a very simple thing. Any experience you've gained that counts towards a performance objective, no matter when you gained it, counts. Before I go to Eniola, Etisong, are you still around? Did you want to say something? Okay, I think he has left. Eniola, go ahead.
Okay, yes, reach out to me.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So my question was not answered. I was the one that asked about the OBU, if one wants to opt in for the OBU, but you've written the apply skills and foundations, and you actually finished those papers before 2020. Are you still eligible to write the OBU BSc certification?
Yes, thank you, Eniola, and apologies for that. That was the second question, manager. I was telling you that I allocated. Can you answer that?
Yes, yes. So you can actually submit even if you've completed your skill level papers in the last 5-6 years. Yes, you can submit, but you will need to write to the ACCA OBU unit.
So maybe something worth checking, because if I hear her correctly, she is also saying that she has passed her skills level papers and she never opted in for OBU before passing financial management, audit and assurance, financial reporting. Those three papers, as you know, they are critical. So the question is, can she still opt in for it even though she has already passed those papers? So I think I would align with manager's answer that you should contact ACCA. Ideally, you should opt in before writing those last three papers at the skill level. But contact ACCA or OBU and they will be happy to guide you accordingly.
Yes, you're correct. She's supposed to. I've handled like 2 or 3 cases like that in the past. Yeah, so but you ACCA had to do that for you. You need to contact them. Thank you for.
Brilliant. Thank you. Dillis, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I wanted to ask, since I'm just trying to find alternative, since I'm finding this exam hard because of my knowledge gaps, because of I've done other exams earlier. What would you advise, and what exam would you advise me to do that? Just it's based on what I'm going to study now, and then I study and read and then do the exam.
Sorry, when you say exam, do you
From
mean
the
paper or
strategies,
professional
professional
paper?
papers. Yeah, I just have 2 left to do. So maybe one if I want to wait till 2027. So yeah.
Can we take that during the classes? So maybe when you register for the class, you don't have to specifically so what's the right way now? You don't have to so if you're attending standard class next weekend, you can attend the papers that are of interest to you and then raise that with the tutor in that class, okay? Usually the tutor would ask everyone to introduce themselves as I would normally do in my class, for example. So if you're interested in either AAA or AFM, if you are in my class while doing the introduction, make this known and then I can advise you according, because that's just very paper specific and specific to you. Okay?
Oh, okay. All right, then
Yeah,
that's fine. Okay, I can even though I register for AAA, I can still change and go to the AFM if if I change my mind that I want to do that instead.
absolutely. So
Okay,
I would
cool.
rather say, attend for next weekend only, attend two papers that are of interest to you, and then you can make a decision after the class. Okay?
Okay,
The
where do I
admin
get the
team will be
information? Okay.
the admin team
So,
will be happy to uh, allow you, because normally you will not have had access to a class that you are not
yeah.
registering for, but they will help you. So just get in touch with manager.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Buluwatife. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Tutor Oshibolu.
Good
My
afternoon.
question is, good afternoon, sir. I actually have my interest lying seriously in the public sector.
an ACA ICANN holder, and I just registered recently. I've not even completed. I'm still trying to complete my registration, getting the necessary verifications from ICANN so that I can complete my registration. However, my question is there a specific kind of module targeted at the public sector that ACCA offers? Because I really want to build my competence in the public sector. And that is my primary reason for opting to take ACCA.
Okay, good question. Yes, I'm aware there are some diploma and certifications targeted at the public sector. I do not have the specific names, but I do think those are things you can search online, even just ask Gemini or ChatGPT, it will fetch it out for you. So just search with ACCA certifications and diplomas targeted at public sector professional. I think they have something on public finance. They have something on public sector accounting, but just check and you can see that, okay? Madueke, go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
everyone. Yeah. Sorry, I joined late. I was busy, so I have 3 questions actually. So number one is payments. I supposed to make payments today, but I didn't get info when it was discussed. So I would like to get info about that. Now, number 2, I'm starting as a professional because I got exemptions. So I've not written any ACCA exam before, but I just, after my MBA program, so I want to start with the professional level. And accounting is not my background. My background is actually economics and post science. So I did the MBA and then I applied to ACCA. I got exemptions to start from the professional level. So my question now is, how do I go about the professional level? And then how can I also get the Oxford Brookes accounting qualification? Should I go for the PSc degree or the MSc degree? And what is the possibility? I think these are what I want to get info about.
All right, manager will take that. Edna, go ahead. Manager, could you kindly please put up the social media page slide? It should be up as long as we're still here, okay? Because the numbers on it, you would still need to refer to it if people need to reach you on WhatsApp. Edna, go ahead, please.
Okay, Shay, thanks. I had network issue before, but by the time I connected, I had one of my colleague or friend speaking around performance objective. And so my question is this: I know I've reviewed that in the past, and majority it was centered around finance. I don't know. I have never worked in finance unit. I've always been an operation staff. So I don't know how, that's why maybe when I saw it then, I lost interest and I've never really gone back to look at it and see what is really required. So I don't know. As an operation person, will I be able to fit in? Because I know that performance objective are to speak to your experience on the job. So I don't know how that will, so because of that, I've never really gone there because I don't know, I've never worked in finance. So I'm thinking of how would that work for me? That's my number 1 question. And number 2 is just as the landlady spoke, I have 2 paper left too, and I'm interested in how to go around it. Should I do one? Should I wait for 2027? And I add you, so I'll wait for the next because I plan to join the intensive class. So maybe I will ask my question there.
This 2027 is trending now. Please remember
No,
that there
seriously,
is
it has not been easy, to be sincere, but we'll keep trying and pushing.
remember there's a 7-year rule. And the 7-year rule, you don't want them to return papers that you have passed. So please don't wait for 2027. Get it done with and let it go with 2026. All right.
I'll try.
I'll take your question, and I think we're going to have to stop there uh, because we need to sign off now. Okay, so manager, go ahead, and then I'll take Edna's questions.
All right, thank you, sir. ED 2027. Okay, all right. Okay, Mr. Madweke wants to know, he's talking about payment. I'm very sure the payment he's talking about should be payment for lectures, payment for classes. Please, the numbers that are on your screen that you can see right now, you can reach out to any of these numbers. You can reach out to any of these numbers. You can reach out to the second one. I'll give you an instant response right now. But both numbers are actually active, and then they respond on time. You also talk about you got MBA. I'm very sure the MBA must be a foreign MBA for ACCA to give you 9 exemptions. It must be a foreign MBA, maybe from one of their partner university. But what I would advise you to do, Mr. Madrid,
It's actually local from Unilag. But I think I specialize in finance.
Okay. All right. So what I would advise that you do, there are some knowledge you're supposed to have acquired at the skill level papers, right? That will be very, very important, crucial for you in the professional level papers. We don't have the breakdown of the courses you took, but I will still think while you are taking these professional papers, also ensure that you study, because I've seen students like that before as well, who say, I want to do the skill level paper as well. At least use that for knowledge to help me. So you can also study for the skill level papers so that you will not struggle with the professional level papers. Because if you don't, if you enter a class, you may seems like you are a loner in a wilderness. Do you understand? Because of those knowledge that are supposed to have been carried over to the professional level. And as regards OBU, OBU is out. OBU is out for you now because it ends in May. And for you to be eligible, you must forfeit performance management, financial reporting, and financial management. Write those three, audit and assurance, financial reporting, and financial management. Write those 3 papers before you can do that. And I'm not sure you can write those 3 papers in March and also submit in May. So that's why I said it is over. However, the second route is open for you, which is the University of London BSc route. That is open. It's starting this year, but will be open to tuition centers to teach from next year. So you can do that. I think I've been able to answer the 3 questions that you raised. Then
All
I'll
right.
hand over to me.
Thank you, manager. Just to add to that, and to anybody who has been exempted, exempting you from a paper, and I must say, Madueke, you got an exemption that is not popular. There must be something you've done right if you are correct with the papers you're exempted from. But anybody who is exempted from a paper is an inherent assumption that you understand and have the knowledge of and can apply everything contained in that paper that you're exempted from. Remember, it is an assumption. It's not always valid, as far as my experience can tell. So what we usually say to students is if you have been exempted from a paper and you want to take the advanced level of that paper, you will need to brush up on certain things if you have to. So for example, you want to take AFM and you are exempted from FM. You have to ask yourself the question, do you know the basics of investment appraisal? Do you know business finance? Do you know business valuation? Are you comfortable with cost of capital? Are you comfortable with risk management, whether it's foreign currency risk management or interest rate risk management? Are you comfortable with working capital management? So to the extent that you feel like, you still struggle with one or two of those areas, then it would be nice to do a catch up before you start going into the detail at the advanced level. The other thing I want to say is about the BSc and MSc. Maybe you should ask yourself, do you really need the BSc? I'm not sure we can answer that question for you. I think maybe your focus should probably be more of the MSc in professional accountancy with the University of London, which you can also do once you are done with your optional papers. Okay.
Okay.
Then Edna asked about our current role, and her point is she's been in operations, she's not really handled the finance role. For that reason, she has ignored her what's the name, PR filings totally, because she does not believe she has the requisite experience. I don't agree with you. I do think that there are a lot of performance objectives that you can sign off on with your current operations role. So let me just be a bit more explicit, even though I've told you guys that you can see more videos on YouTube by ACCA that gives you more explanation of how to go about the process. But let me guide you through this. So there are 5 compulsory objectives that you must achieve, and there are 4 out of 17 other objectives that you must achieve. Okay, now let's look through the 5. The first one is ethics and professionalism. That is your ability to demonstrate integrity, objectivity, and professional behavior. I don't need to be in a finance related role to sign off on ethics and professionalism. I don't know the area of operations that you are in, but you might have faced something that questions or tests your integrity, objectivity, or demonstrates that you behaved in a professional manner. To the extent that is the case, you can sign off that objective. I'll pick another example, which says leadership and management. Now, when people see the word leadership and management, they think, oh, I have to be leading a team. If you are, good for you. And I suspect, Edna, that you have people reporting to you. So you can sign off that
Yes.
objective. But you don't have to have people reporting to you. Managing self is part of leadership. Self-management is part of leadership. So how do you manage your schedule? How do you manage your tasks? How do you manage your resources to ensure that organizational objectives are achieved? You can articulate that and get someone to sign off on it. Okay, it has nothing to do with finance. There's another one on strategy, innovation, and sustainable value creation. So, are you contributing to strategy in your organization? So, for example, maybe they want to prepare budgets. Obviously, your unit would have to contribute into the total budget of the organization. Or they are formulating strategy and they are doing a bottom-up approach, or you're part of a management team where you guys meet periodically to review performance, to design strategies. All of that are things you can articulate and get those performance objectives signed off. So as far as I'm concerned, the 5 essential performance objectives can be signed off by anybody working in a structured organization, regardless of whether it's a finance role or not. It becomes a bit more technical when you now want to move to the optional objective, where you have to sign 4 out of 17. But it's just 4 out of 17. Out of those 17, you have things related to corporate and business reporting, you have things related to financial management, you have things related to management accounting, you have things related to tax, audit, and even advisory. So many years ago, we used to have people in consulting. So maybe they're even working in a big 4, but they are in technology consulting. They used to complain that, oh, I can't sign off all my performance objective, but that's gone now because digital technology, data, consultancy, all those things are part of performance objectives that you can pick now and sign off on. So I think what you should focus on is, one, sign up the essentials. Two, ask yourself, does your current role allow you to sign off any of the 17 optional areas? To the extent that it does, most times it does, then you're good. To the extent that it does not, then you should start thinking about role changes. So whether that's going to be secondment to another unit for a period of time, it could even be for 1 month, it could be for 3 months. It doesn't have to be for a whole year. Remember, you just want to demonstrate that you've done something within a period of time. And that period of time doesn't have to be 3 months. Okay. So that's my advice to you on that. And then you also talked about should you wait and stuff like that. And I think we kind of agreed that you can ask those questions when you attend the live classes. All right. I think we are done.
Thank you so much,
Or
Shane.
at least,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome, Edna. At least I am done. So, manager, I still see some hands up. If you are still available, you can take those questions. But I would need to sign out. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. Thank you for being part of the open day. So I need to stop sharing my screen for me to be able to see the hands that are raised. So okay, Kelechi, can you ask your question quickly? Madam Edna, since
My own is just this thing. I've not been added to the group. I paid for SBL Match Intensive class. I've not been added in the group and as well as the profiling. Thank you.
Adeoye Fumilola, can you please unmute and ask your question?
Okay, please. I want to ask. Thank you. When I registered for ACCA, I registered with my BSc. Then later on, I got MSc in finance certificate from University of Lagos. I don't know if an exemption will be granted based on that.
Well, I am, unless if ACC have signed another MOU with University of Lagos, that's what can give you additional exemption. But this is what I will advise you to do. You will send that certificate to ACCA, students at accglobal.com. Just kindly find attached additional my MSc certificate for additional exemption. So they will respond to you to tell you the number of exemptions that they are adding, and if they are not adding any other exemption to it, they will let you know.
Students at
accglobal.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, man. Moaz, can you unmute and ask a question, Moaz?
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much. Please, my question is that with the MSc University of London, can you apply for PhD? Is it a direct route?
Yes, so the MSc from University of London is equivalent to any other MSc.
Okay.
You understand? Yes. So is the PSc as well. Okay. It's equivalent to any other, so you can use it to apply for PhD even at the University of London or any other university.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Oluwatimileyin.
All right. Please, as regards the experience requirement, if I have probably 1 year of experience in an organization and I have 2 years in another organization, can I have an accumulated years of experience to meet up with the requirements?
Yes, so the 36 months experience is not limited to one organization. People change jobs, right? So even if you have those experience with three different organizations, so it's just to get those who can attest to the fact that you had those experience to actually sign you off that you actually had the experience with those three organizations and you've been able to complete the 36-month work experience. All right. In the absence of any other question, thank you for your time. We are super grateful and we hope to. Emmanuel Umera, please let me take that one. This is the last one we're taking. Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Though I
afternoon.
joined late, so I was just hearing about the BSc, MSc, and the PhD for the University of London. So I want to know the criteria or the requirements for the BSc in finance.
So the criteria for the BSc for University of London is actually you must be an ACCA student member. You must have written all the knowledge and skill level papers or have been exempted from it, except performance management and financial management. So you must write the University of London exams for performance management and financial management. So if you have not written those papers at ACCA, you don't have to write them. ACCA will give it to you as exemptions as long as you have written it with London University. But if you have written it with ACCA, you still have to write it with London University, University of London rather. You still have to write it with University of London and write a project research project, write a research project and submit. So that is what you need to do to get those certificates, to get the BSc. As for the MSc, it's not mandatory that you have the University of London BSc. As long as you have completed your ACCA, you've written your knowledge level, your skill level, and professional level, or you are exempted, or you have completed ACCA, you are an affiliate. You can use your ACCA certificate to apply for the University of London University of London MSc. That will qualify you. ACCA qualification will qualify you for some exemptions from the papers you have to write to get the MSc. That is that. Comfort, please.
Thank you for the opportunity. So I was going to ask that for the PER document, the recording, can it be done retrospectively, like for the past experiences? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying. The experience required may be pre-ACCA, during ACCA, or post-ACCA. Do you understand? So what is more important? Some people have had this experience before they even register with ACCA. You understand? They've had their experience. So once they register with ACCA, they know they will need this, and they started filling their PR, instead keeping the record. So you can do post exam, you can do pre ACCA exam, and you can do the experience together within. So it's not. There's no restriction to when the experience should be. All right. On this note, we want to drop the curtain. Thank you everyone for staying this long. We really appreciate you, and we pray that from this moment and towards the future, all your endeavor will be successful. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir.